Hey guys, welcome to the first episode of the Tavern of Theories of Tales of Exandria. We just started this channel, so this is new. This is me streaming for the first time. I do have help in the background. Creative by Mind is doing the whole stream thing, so if stuff isn't working correctly, don't be mad or anything or leave. Just stick with us. We'll figure it out. And I'm not alone today. I have two guests with me, and we're switching over. Here, this is Patch, and I just want to say Renee because
of course it
this is Sasha. And I'm just handing over to you guys. Also, we do play Wednesdays. We play in a Wildmount campaign, so we are very much into Critical Role, and we are wearing Critical Role merch today. So let's hand it over to Patch. Please introduce yourself, balls.
Oh, that's me! Hello, everybody! I'm Patch, the ever-humble Dungeon Master. You can find me over on Quest Junkies on the ever-mentioned Wildmount Chronicles stream. I am happy to be here for this debut stream talking about Downfall, but more on that soon. Thanks for bringing me on to the show, guys. I'm really excited to get deep into some Calamity lore with y'all.
To be fair, Patch has seen Calamity probably the most. So I don't know anyone else.
Times, at least.
In the last 2 years.
Pretty close to that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Patch and I compete on that.
Yeah, so
it's a
your weekly
race.
hangouts, or how do you do that? Anyway, Sasha, introduce yourself before we get into it.
Hi, I'm Sasha. I stream myself on Twitch once every blue moon. I haven't streamed in a long time, but I'll get back to it one day. I'm also on TikTok at The Rambling Lobster, where I do a lot of lore stuff about, or at least used to do a lot of lore stuff about Critical Role and like sharing about my theories. So I'm very excited to be here today and talk about some of them. And I also play with these guys on Wednesdays for Wildmount Chronicles, because you never get enough Critical Role.
Yeah. Also, it is my birthday today. Just throwing it in there. Yay!
So now I don't even want to have in my mouth. My birthday.
Can I have a fireball for my birthday? No, I'm just kidding. I already have one. So anyway, today we are here because it's the month of Calamity and Downfall, aka we are 100 years in the future in the past. 100 years, yes. After Calamity, after Avalier went down and went up in flames. I'm almost done watching it again, but you guys are experts on that. Quick thing, so a little bit of housekeeping. There might be swearing, I don't know. We don't know. Patch behave. Also, we are not affiliated with Critical Role, so if there is any, whatever, we just throw it out there so you guys know. We don't stand in any connections. We don't get money. There's nothing. It's just us loving Critical Role and Calamity. And so for you who don't know when it's being streamed, plus you don't have to have seen Campaign 3. It is not necessary. It is an event that happened in the past, way in the past, Calamity times. You can watch it without even knowing anything about Campaign 3, because that's way in the future. And they probably, I don't know, maybe they are like, oh, whatever. They don't care about the memory. We don't know. And that's also a theory we will be talking about today. We have a couple of things we want to talk about, and it's going to be chaotic. So if you have questions, leave them in the chat. I'll lurk over in between. And how should we do this? How do you want to do this? Should we start off with a bit of Calamity talk, just to get everybody into it?
I'm trying to mute with a good time.
Critical Role just dropped a trailer, which is very short, but there is one picture in there. Maybe we can start with that. We do have it prepared, so if Yura is still around, could you show it on the screen real quick? And I'll let you guys talk about it.
There it is.
So they dropped this today, and although it didn't give us much on information, it did tease and get me excited, especially for the art, because like the art looked gorgeous, and there's most of them were pointed out by Patch, but there's a bunch of little Easter eggs here and there in those images that got me really excited.
Go ahead.
Like First of all, the artwork, fucking amazing. Shout out to, I believe it's at Eldritch Blep on socials.
Yep.
Done the amazing
so.
artwork for this. Massive props. But there's a few little hidden details. There's probably, I haven't seen all of them, I'm sure, but there were a couple that suddenly got my attention. Because there's a couple of pieces of graffiti on the wall. One looks like a potential Calamity era Jester Lavore-esque character because there's a massive red dick beneath one of those crystals in the center, the one on the right. If you zoom in and enhance there, you can see just this articulate red phallus, which it screams Lavore.
It does.
And then if you go down from there, you see some more graffiti on the floor. One that probably the internet is about to get very excited at, as it says Bolo. Now, my takeaway from that is that Bolo is the Banksy of Aeor. That's my takeaway from that.
Yep. Same.
I actually have a few information on that because Eldritch Bled, the artist Clara, she tweeted about it because apparently, as she was getting commissioned for that, her and Kyle were exchanging bolos back and forth in the email chain. And I guess they just decided to make a little wink to this. And as she says in her tweet, at Cal Shire and I proudly wore our Bolo fan club patches while working on these. I can't wait for Thursdays and the start of Downfall. So we love to see it. Little Easter eggs in there.
The beautiful Kyle Shire, as always. I did notice one more thing, and I'm not entirely sure it's accurate, but higher up on that same building, there's a couple of designs on the wall there that kind of look like a cat or some sort of cat-like being with a very interesting looking tail, as it appears to have a big eye on the end of it, reminding me of a very particular set of eyes that we saw at the end of Campaign 2 that collectively formed a group called the Sum Novum, who were of Aeorian heritage.
It's giving because I know there's also a bunch of weird creatures in Aeor, so I don't know if it's actually the Sun Novum, but at least it's giving maybe it's they were experimenting on animals and stuff, and cats got involved somehow and got weird tails with eyes at the end of it. It could be something like that. And then that.
Oh, if we see the giant baby with the
I don't want
hand,
no, please. No.
Yes.
Fun fact, that is actually it's a real mini from a real game called Kingdom Death, which is an incredibly grim and grotesque TTRPG that I'm desperate to get my hands on. It looks awful. I really want it.
It does. I don't want to see it in one of our games.
Why not? It would be so fun. You don't want to go to Aeor? We could go to Aeor.
We could. So my question is the dig an homage, or is there some ties? Because I don't think Artagan is that old. I think Artagan is newer, as far as I remember.
I do believe he's fairly young in Exandria years. Don't think he's quite as old to be there during the Calamity. I think it might just be an artist nod to this, but
I could for sure seen Brennan tying in some very intricate lore, though, as oh no, it's not supposed to be a dick. It's actually the symbol of the Merchants Guild of Avalier. They had this very pristine symbol. It just happens to look like a dick.
Talking about Brennan, so I don't know if Sasha watched it, but Patch and I watched it. There was an interview with Brennan talking to him about Downfall and so on, so you saw it too. There was not much information in there, but they are basically, hey, you're being called in if there's a sky city falling out of the sky or going places. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Is it we need the big guns, or is it just it's the right feel, the right DM for a story like that?
I think it's just a fun I watched the interview in the background as I was doing other stuff yesterday, so I didn't get everything because I was quite distracted with doing research for the stream, actually. But I think it's just maybe like a fun tradition to bring back Brennan for all the Calamity stuff, just like we seem to have Abria for all the Crown Keepers related stuff. It's like,
that's true.
Abria is the Crown Keepers DM, and Brennan just so happens to be the catastrophe one that breaks everything and make everything go boom, you know?
I think I remember as well, it might have been the GM roundtable that Abria, Brennan, and Matt did that time. It might have been there and it might have been something else, but I think quite an extensive portion of it was Brennan just ranting about how much he loves Aeor and how much he loved the Aeor segment of campaign 2. So I could see a lot of it just being like Matt being like, hey dude, you love Aeor so much, why don't you jump in, have fun with it.
I think they were talking about it because it organically kind of built up. They started planning it a while ago, and then the right moment was now. So
yeah, they said this. He said something like, "We met up for lunch with the purpose of just hanging out and not talking business. Ended up planning downfall."
Yeah, exactly. So. It's going to be 3 episodes. I don't think we talked about that, but it's going to start on Thursday, and it's going to be every week. And that's what I hope can do. So every Tuesday we meet in the shadows and to talk about the last episode. Right now we're doing kind of the, theories, predictions, kind of recap for everybody who's interested. And maybe we should just do a little recap. So Aeor itself, downfall will happen, like we said, like 100 years after the other story happened. So Calamity, Avalier. Do you guys want to talk about the past real quick? What actually happened? Why this whole shit is going down? Why the sky cities are falling out of the sky or being teleported somewhere?
I mean,
would love that. Yes,
we could absolutely do that.
Those are the experts. I'm just asking stupid questions. You go.
There's only one way to start off a segment like that, which is fire. Because it all started with fire.
So are we talking like a second for the next 2 hours? Or
I mean,
hold on, let me cast a time stop. There we go. And now you guys are fucked because I get to ramble for hours about Avalier, and you guys are time stopped, so you have to bear with me. There you go.
Okay, no, put that cup down. Okay, time stop open. So what happened? I mean, there were like flying cities, whatever, and ambitions, and Avalier was very like, hey, we want to do our own shit now.
So
people.
Basically, so the Calamity Set after the Age of Arcanum. The Age of Arcanum was like this huge, like, couple 100 years where wizards were going crazy, doing all this crazy tech, lifting cities out of the sky, like out of the ground to float into the sky. You had a bunch of cities that did that. There was Aeor, which was like basically the biggest one. So we don't know much about Aeor apart from what was discovered through ruins, which is why we're so excited about this this new little thing that's coming up. And there was a bunch of other cities, including Avalier. Avalier was another wizard city that lifted from a continent that no longer exists, and was floating along the ley lines, following the ley lines, collecting energy, trading with all those other cities, and then the betrayer god got mad. They were tired of being locked away and not allowed to be interacting with Exandria. So we had Asmodeus be like, "Okay, I'm done. I wanna come out now. Can I come out?" And then he busted through Avalier and was like, "What's up, guys? Today
hell literally broke loose."
Hell literally broke loose. He was like, "What's up, guys? Today is the replenishment," which was this thing that Aeor did every 7 years to just go land for a couple of days and then Did I say Aeor? I meant Avalier. I'm so sorry. And this replenishment just so happened to be on an apogee solstice. So it was just like a huge convergence of like all these moons aligning for the betrayer gods to enable their plans and try to get out, and they succeeded. So now we are 100 years in the future. Avalier has fallen, and we'll find out how Aeor falls very soon.
So at that point, they started fighting again. Like,
yes, the betrayer gods. After the downfall of Avalier, the betrayer gods are released, and the gods are like, no, you can't do that. So they start fighting, and they're like, no, but like you have to go back to your prison because this is our place. And the betrayer gods are like, but I want it to be my place. And now they're fighting at the expense of the Exandria as a whole. Like they're just destroying Exandria to fight for its back, which is a crazy concept to just be like, yeah, let's destroy the world that we're fighting over.
Also, back then the continents were different, so Taldori didn't exist. That happened after the Predator. I can't speak. After those guys were put away again. Yes. So my question is,
it did exist. Taldori did exist. It just had a different name.
But not like it is now. So my question is, Avalier had that deal with it, World Druids bullshit, whatever, the other city they had to connect to and give magic to and whatever. Did Aeor have a deal? Does anyone know anything about Aeor?
We actually don't know.
Very little. I think for the most part they were kind of outsiders. Like they were very much independent from the very little that we know. Because I know there was certain segments in the early parts of Calamity where there were NPCs discussing that Aeor may be potentially moving against us. They might be making a stand and blah blah blah. So it kind of like. I kind of interpret it as like Avalier saw Aeor as like a foreign power. They're kind of like just on thin ice with, kind of like, you stay over in Aeor and you do your thing. We'll stay over here and do our thing, and we'll just keep it like that.
So my question is, Bolo was very random, put in by Sam. Brennan ran with it. Would that actually have happened? Like having people over from Aeor? What do you guys think?
I think it's very possible that stuff like that could happen, because we know that like Avalier was traveling along the ley lines and trading with other cities. Like it traded with all over the place. So I assume Aeor was doing similar, because it would be dumb not to use the opportunity to be flying around Exandria to trade. So people could definitely decide to hop off on and off. Maybe the two cities flew close by together and people flew over and teleported between cities.
Teleportation is a thing.
Yeah, teleportation. They're super powerful wizards. Like nothing can stop them.
So, question: when they were readying ships and leave Avalier and put like the population in there instead of the wizards, which is nice. Thing. Just watch that scene. What type of ships is it? Because when we are thinking Aeor, when we see the art, I feel more Battlestar Galactica, but Avalier is more like sky ships, or what are we talking about?
So I kind of have like my notes are incredible for tonight, are incredibly messy, but I spent a great portion of my 10-hour shift at work today thinking about that exactly. And you can, I think, to answer that question, you can actually look at the real world for some evidence, because so this is 100 years into the Calamity, and in that time, the entire focus on the city of Aeor could only have been to preserve itself, to survive. And if you look at like where the real world has been in the last 100 years, so fun fact, 100 years ago, we had just invented the toaster, which is made even funnier because we didn't invent the concept of sliced bread until 1928. So what did people put in the toasters back then? I mean, that has got nothing to do with tonight. But,
well, I'm pretty sure people sliced bread before, but sure.
Oh, of course. Think of all the wasted bread from people just cutting it open, realizing, oh shit, it's too thick for the toaster. Damn it.
Yep.
Anyway, the whole thing that I was thinking about today is because when you look at the real world and when there's been times of crisis, we've all experienced that over the last few years, certainly. But the main thing that happens is when the world shuts down because of a crisis that's happening and all attention is focused on that, you see technological and scientific advancement skyrocket.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you can look back to like the two world wars in the the 1910s and 1939 onwards. We started that with biplanes, little propeller planes, and ended with bombers that would drop nuclear weapons.
Yeah.
Here's a question. So we know Avalier is very mage driven. It's a mage city, right? What about Aeor? Because tech doesn't necessarily need to come when you have a magic dominating force, you know what I mean? So if they combine, we know there are, because of the whole stuff we've seen in campaign 2, but there's not necessarily the need for technology. So there has to be some, why did they open up for more tech? You know what I mean?
I think that's one of the things we're going to find out in this. I think that's going to be one of the big reveals.
I think we already know a little bit about that, though, from the exploration of Aeor in campaign 2. We know that it was mostly mage-driven, because we know, was those little stasis bubbles. There was some leaders that were protected and they were mages. So I assumed it was similar to Avalier. But the thing is, like, Avalier and Aeor were two independent cities. So I think their technologies evolving differently makes total sense, because they were, like, the mages of Aeor had their own ambitions to kill gods. They've developed a weapon to kill gods, and that's what was their downfall eventually.
Wasn't there even a rumor that they actually didn't?
But that's the thing, is they were developing a weapon, that's for sure. They were, during the time of Avalier in the Calamity, there was rumors that they were going to test it on other cities. And Avalier responded to that by saying, okay, we need to prepare ourselves and we need to bulk up. We need to prepare, a counterattack or something. So Avalier was kind of like in a process of starting to think of maybe we should defend ourselves against Aeor. But then they got struck down by Asmodeus and didn't get to do that. They had some stuff set up, though, with like the etheric net that was like their protection. So they were starting to get like defensive in case of Aeor attacks. But we also know that probably in that 100 years between the Calamity started and Avalier falling and the start of the series that we're going to see now, that Aeor did test that weapon eventually, and they struck down a small city called Lathris. It was another smaller flying city that we basically have no information other than they fell to Aeor's weapon. But basically Aeor tested that weapon and caused the downfall of Lathris.
Is it question? Is it not more like, okay? So in Avalier, they were talking about like the matron of ravens and stuff, and death, and being your own god, and so on. That was there, but didn't Aeor do the same thing? Being like, with the when Caleb and Essek did the whole like, we could go back in time, change things, or get younger. Ford was in that one thing, I think, and regain some. You know what I mean? So weren't they just trying to cheat death, maybe, you know what I mean, become gods in that sense, and didn't really care about killing other gods, just becoming like a force themselves, so they can just manipulate anything?
Good question. We don't know. Maybe. Who knows? We'll find out. Is what I want to say. But
Yeah.
Just throwing out theories.
The way I see it, and my personal theory on that, is that Aeor was such a big city because, like, it was so much bigger than every other flying city, including Avalier. Avalier was big, but like Aeor was like big, right?
Okay.
And the way I see it is there is probably different clans in Aeor, like, we in this corner want to try out killing gods and destroying them, and the other ones in this other corner are trying to develop a technology where they want to become gods themselves because the Matron of Raven did it. Why can't we, you know? So I think there was a bunch of intersecting, like, people trying out different techs and doing their own thing.
And then there's the other corner of the city that's like, hey, we just really like red eyes, okay? Like, don't ask me about it, okay?
Can we talk about that part?
Just to jump back to my original point when my tangent started. So I think the main theme for this story is going to be preservation, because the way I see it when I've been thinking about this all today, you know, technological advancement in times of crisis is skyrocketed. Avalier has had 100 years where the only thing that mattered was survival of the Calamity.
Sure.
And with a city so advanced already, what the fuck have they come up with in 100 years? If they've survived 100 years, how advanced are they? Like, they're probably, I mean, I guess, kind of like Critical Role's version of cyberpunk, maybe?
Yeah.
Is kind of the vibe I'm thinking.
That's one thing. I don't know if it was in the trailer they dropped this morning or in another thing that I read about this upcoming series, but they did mention that that Aeor is the last standing flying city. So like, to be able to survive 100 years of calamity and war and gods fighting, you have to be pretty well fucking technologically advanced and like prepared and like
have to fly far away.
It's gods. They can do whatever the fuck. Like if
out of
basically
out of
gods.
sight, out of the way. So if they are not in the in the view of the gods because they're so focused on the continent. Anyway,
we have a question in chat that I think is interesting.
I wanted to.
Terry Elvin is asking, do we know how many flying cities there were all up? We don't. We have no idea. We know there were at least the three bigs that were Aeor, Avalier, and the one Zemniaz, I think it was called.
Yes.
Zemniaz?
No, it
That
needs to start
crashed.
with an A. I'm sorry. Zemniaz.
It's ruining the team. Zemniaz was one of them that fell into the Zemnian Phil and then became the Zemnian Empire.
Technically,
there was other small ones.
Technically, there was one flying city that wasn't part of the Calamity, but is still a historical flying city of Exandria, which is Draconia.
Yes, I was getting to that. Draconia was one of them. I don't know how Draconia happened. If I'm 100% honest, like, were they around during the Age of Arcanum and then just survived out of pure like, we are so small, don't touch us, ha ha ha. Like,
I'll send you to your books.
Well, I did so much research on the flying cities for the Wildmount Chronicles because I knew about Sasha's character, so I knew that was the assignment. And nice. I did look at Draconia, and I'm pretty sure that was like a very recent thing.
Yeah,
like, that wasn't.
Where's the comment? We need Matt's brain. He holds all the answers. Should I just text Matt to come here?
Danny Carr?
Yeah,
can we get Danny Carr?
No, Danny. Let's get Danny.
Danny, we need you.
Danny, come here. Come in the chat.
I think I agree. I think Draconia is one of those that was pretty recent, just like the Silken Squall, actually, which is.
Yes.
Are they a city or are they just like a fleet of boats that are flying? It's unclear. But
I kind of see it as like I imagine it as like a visually, like when you see the circus come to town and you see all the tents come up.
Yeah.
That's how I visualize the Silken Squall.
Do you pronounce it nomads? In German it's Nomaden, so... You know,
Don't know
like
nomads.
Nomads.
Okay, thanks for the real English speaker.
Patch is the only
You're
native
very
English speaker
welcome.
here.
Yes.
I was like, I don't know how to pronounce it either. I have the French pronunciation, and that's it.
Yeah, same.
I can do the words.
Let's do words. Hello.
But yeah, and we also know about Lathras, which is the one that got destroyed by Aeor.
Yep.
And we know there was at least 2 or 3 other small ones, but it could be 20, it could be 3. We don't know how many there were.
So Avalier needed all those not vestiges, but artifacts and whatever to fuel the whole stuff, right? Or how? I mean, there's brimstone and whatever to keep them aloft, but also for the ley lines and water energy and so on, they burn through artifacts. You know what I mean?
They weren't burning through artifacts. They were just collecting arcane energy. Like as they were they had like these arcane batteries. There was 12 of them in Avalier, and as they were traveling the ley lines, they were kind of like harvesting the general ley lines energy and power that was being stored in those batteries.
But we can assume the other cities are similar in that regard, right?
Maybe some
probably.
variations of the same technology, but yeah, I'd assume it's all basically the same thing. Because like, how many times can you invent the wheel, right? Like,
so
Yeah.
what do you think? How hard is it to get more fuel?
I assume it's not a resource that is that out there and that easy to get, because otherwise, why isn't the entire continent flying? Like, why are we just having those few cities that are so extraordinary? Like,
And not to mention-
otherwise, everything would be flying.
And not to mention, it's the Calamity. Like, it's probably difficult to harvest at the best of times. At the worst of times,
I'm
it's
just
probably
asking.
a miracle.
Wasn't there like a limitation to how long you can be in the sky? It sounds stupid, but
Yeah. I don't remember if Avalier had a limitation, like I'm pretty sure they had like a limitation of like, okay, like we have a deal with the Druids every 7 years, we're gonna land and give them some of our energy. I don't know if that actually needed to land, as in like, just like a car that you need to refuel, like you need to like power down the machines for a couple of hours, let them rest and then lift up again. But who knows?
I think, I mean, actually, on that point, when I think back to it, it probably was a finite resource, because towards the end of Calamity, I remember the Eldamir the Wise giving the instruction for people to pour their spell energies into the etheric net to bolster the city, to save it. So it probably was a finite resource, It was probably powered by people in that sense.
wow. Okay,
Wait, actually.
That's what you do when you have a Mageocracy.
No, but like speaking of powered by people, that makes sense, because in Campaign 3, the Beltelza found a harness that grabs energy.
Oh, I remember that,
Yoinks energy
Exactly.
from people. So if that's the technology they used to like yoink energy out of the air and like the ground, it would make sense that it would be a finite resource, and Exandria only has so much energy to power cities, you know?
Yeah. Power hoarding. Either we jump real quick, because we also have the connection to Campaign 2 plus Campaign 2. We have parts of Aeor on the ground, and we have parts of Aeor, which is which part? The Somnovum?
The Cognosa Ward.
Cognosa Ward is in a different plane, right?
Yes.
So what happened there? Explain.
I think that is the downfall. I think that will be, this is my big prediction, I think that's going to be the moment that we see Aeor fall. It's going to be, we'll get to see the moment where it's decided that the Cognosa Ward is leaving. It's going off to do its own thing. You know, we talked a bit earlier about the different sections of the city, like different ruling powers disagreeing. it's going to be downfall in many ways, because it's going to be the downfall of the ruling classes of Aeor being able to work together. Tying on with that, the fact that Taliesin Jaffe is playing, so 100% Taliesin Jaffe's character has to be connected to the Cognos Award and goes off. He is the Somnovum. I'm calling that shit now. It's too good to not happen.
Since we're calling, are we calling Laura's character already? Any thoughts?
Yes,
I think
we talked about this before stream.
Yeah.
Yeah, I personally. So if you guys didn't know that behind the scenes, Laura Bailey was originally supposed to be playing in Calamity, but had other like conflicts of interest and couldn't play. And so Marisha stepped in and played Paisha Borko. But
Yes.
Laura did have a character ready for Calamity,
That's true.
and it was a wizard. So I personally think that would be a great. It might not be the same character exactly, but like a similar build, kind of heavily inspired by that build that she made for Calamity, because it's the perfect opportunity. And she's talked before about the fact that she was disappointed she couldn't play, because she was really excited about that wizard build, and she was like, I really wanted to play that wizard. So I'm pretty sure we're gonna see Laura playing a wizard here.
Okay.
100%.
Any theories? Ash?
So many. I mean, I full on agree. Laura Bailey, wizard, 100%. It has to happen. I'm curious what subclass though.
True.
I'm very curious about that.
Yeah. What about the dome where the person is standing? Do you think anyone will pick up that person? Do you remember? There's like the
The people in the stasis bubbles.
yeah.
I think that's
with the blue dome. There's a person who's just
Yep.
trying to cast or something. I think that would be a great character, because that seems to be a very, very powerful, influential person.
I don't think. Okay, so my theories for characters is because when they released a video when they announced Downfall with just Matt and Brennan at the DM state, where Brennan was eating a burger. It was very funny. And one thing that they did say, and I wrote down the words here because the wording is very important. When Brennan was talking about the players, he said that they were going to play 6 divine figures. And that I found that wording very specific, because at the time when I first watched it, I heard divine and then clicked out of the sentence and immediately assumed gods. And I was like, oh my god, are they going to be playing gods? That's insane. That's so and I got really excited. But I was like, that's so OP playing gods in a campaign. Like, why would they play gods? And then I rewatched it while preparing for this talk, and I realized they don't say divine beings. They don't say like divine gods. They just say divine figures, which makes me think that we might be seeing the 6 players playing different champions of the gods. Since we are 100 years into Calamity, the gods already have all their champions, and they're fighting with their champions against other gods and other champions. So I think it would be very interesting to see them playing as 6 champions.
So who's playing Pthos Soul? That's the question.
Yes.
I don't know if they're actually going to play Pthos Soul or like other, but I really hope so.
It would be
It would be amazing.
good.
Thinking about that.
I don't know who would play it though, is the thing. It's like I hope someone plays it, but I don't know who would be willing to do it.
I think because we talked a little bit about this before the stream as well, and I liked one idea that you mentioned, is that we might see a blend of it, because I agree Champions of the Gods seems like the most likely thing based off that comment of divine figures, but a blend of the Prime Deities champions and the Betrayer Gods champions. Because if you wanted to go down that avenue, Who's a particular champion of the Lord of the Hells? Asmodeus.
Yeah, Asmodeus is still around.
We could have a guest spot that's unannounced by a certain Luis Carrazzo. I can see that happening.
That would be crazy.
Maybe.
If Brennan utters the word, Lewis, could you stab at a table? I will lose my shit. Lose my shit.
Yes.
But yeah, that's one thing that we know about how Aeor fell is that the gods got so scared of the power that Aeor had with the weapons that they had that the gods and the betrayer were like, okay, pause the feud. I know we're fighting and we don't like each other, but like this particular city is like a big danger. So let's unite and strike down that bitch so we can get back to our feud without the fear of getting killed by that city, right? So I would think it would make all the sense in the world to have player characters, both champions of the betrayers and champions of the gods, uniting, and maybe have some little like tensions and inter-party conflict that I always love to see. But yeah, that's what I'm thinking here.
Question. There's always only one champion per god, correct? But because I feel like there are several per.
I'm pretty sure we know for a fact that during the Calamity, the gods had many champions.
Okay, good. Because
I don't remember how I know that, but I know that.
I feel like we have several because I always was under the impression like Vax is now Raven Queen, period. Yeah. And that's it. There's no one else. But now there is, because we've watched that little excerpt with Axu. There's another one. But also Vax isn't existing right now because he's a disc.
He's
legit forgot about that.
I think the way it works is that we have like the gods have champions plural, but there's like a hierarchy of importance. Okay. So like Provençal would probably be the champion and Vax is his replacement. So Vax is still the champion, but there's like, you know, other champions that are like, very powerful still, but not as important to the gods, if that makes sense.
Okay. So, but they would all hang around Aeor, like old champions, you know what I mean? So it's like, hey, we have our weekly meeting of the superheroes of Aeor. It's like, it's a bit, I don't know.
I don't know if they'd be native to Aeor. If they played champions, they'd probably be from all over the place and just get sent there. And like, it's your party meets at the tavern kind of way of like, we're all going to destroy the city. So like, let's meet up and so make a plan.
In this case, we're actually doing the other way around. You guys assume you guys think our heroes are actually trying to destroy the city and not defend the city.
Yeah, that's what I think.
I'm undecided actually, because I think it could go one of several ways. Because I keep my ADHD little brain keeps focusing on just the title of Downfall, and that being like, for the plot of this mini arc, not being about Aeor falling from the sky, but the actions of people that cause it to happen, because that's what we saw in Avalia. We saw that the fall of Avalia was because of choices made. Yep. And I think we're going to have that same theme here, just in a very different context. Choices made, like, hey, we're going to fuck off to the Astral Sea and make some red eyes and stuff. You'll be fine. You got this. And then they peace out.
You know, that's a good point. We might see, because that could be a thing of like the gods have champions in Aeor, and then they get ordered by their gods, strike down the city, make it fall. But then they're like, oh, but that's our people. Oh, but that's our place. That's our city. We don't want it. So there's like this inner conflict of like, do I listen to my god or do I, you know?
What if it's different because of the split? Not the whole city did want the split. So what if they are on the not want to split and don't want to get the red eyes part? If the champions are on that side, you know what I mean? So they're trying to actually make it not happen, so they don't split off or ascend to godhood or whatever, or become gods. they're actually trying to prevent that, but it happens and that destroys the whole shit. So I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, it could even tie into Pthos. We don't know. There's so many ways it could go. And that'd be interesting.
Ooh.
You know, perhaps the players learn of Pthos, and there's a plot to bring Pthos back, and they have to stop that. But the consequence of which leads to another city falling. You know.
Okay, Sasha first, but I have a question which I couldn't ask anyone because nobody was caught up on campaign 3 so far. But Sasha, go first.
That's one thing that I was wondering if it was going to come up in conversation, but it's something at the back of my head. Do the people at the Age of Arcanum know of Pthos? Mm-hmm. Do they remember? Because we know that names have powers. We know, like, Comorth.
Oh, tree of names.
What's the other name of the fucking Candy? That's one. Comorth and I can't pronounce it, but that name. Like, they were basically forgotten by the citizens of Exandria, and like a few people, like the Druids knew about it, like the Gaujari knew about it, and the Porco grandfather, he knew about it as well, but anyone else, like, it was inscribed in the tree of names to be forgotten. Yeah. So I would assume that Pthos is also one of those that, like, the name was forgotten and people don't know about it because it was erased from history by the gods. Just like the name for the Raven Queen was erased and we don't know who she was before. Like, I personally don't think that they know about Pthos at this point. And it just got discovered back in campaign 3. Like, we just discovered the name again, and like, yes, he did exist, because we know that Pthos got imprisoned by the gods before what's the name of that era? Hold on, let me grab the notebooks. Before the Age of Arcanum, there was like another era that was like just basically god shit. That was like the creation. And Pthos showed up before that. So like, but the gods know about Pthos and they locked him away, and then Exandria happened, kind of deal.
It's on the tip of my tongue, and I can't.
The founding.
The founding. That's it.
There you go.
So I have a question. Since you guys have watched campaign 3, you remember on the moon when they end up in that subsection with the elf city-ish? Which city is that? Which part of which city ended up on the moon?
Wow, that's another interesting bit. Because I remember at the time thinking like when that first reveal happened, my takeaway was, okay, maybe Pthos isn't a god eater. Maybe Pthos is a city like Aeor that figured out how to deal with gods, so they dealt with it first, and they came up with the idea of Pthos to scare people away.
Oh, I like that theory, actually.
Because it comes down to, again, preservation, the gods preserving themselves. Because, you know, I have other things like, I don't think the gods are gods.
I feel like, is it Spaceballs? It's like a big vacuum. We're just sucking in parts of the cities. We don't like you.
Back when we first heard about the city being on a moon, back in early campaign 3, where Fern and Orem looked through the little viewfinder thing and saw the city, my first original theory was that Avalier was the one, like, when the weird, like, thing happened and, like, Avalier landed and there was, like, explosion and Comorth and the other god got, like, sent away. My theory was that, like, Avalier just flew off with them and followed the ley lines and landed on the moon.
That's what I thought.
That got disproven very quick with what we now know of the moon and Rudius, and like, now that we've been to that city, we know it's not true. But I I think it could very well be like a mix of like a Cognosa kind of deal where like the city got projected somewhere else and got caught on the moon and developed a conscience of now we want to destroy the gods, and like it's this weird magical being, weird fucked up thing that
What if it's just a piece of thing when the city exploded that ended up on the moon?
I don't think it's Avalier. It could definitely be another.
Okay, I have a question. So back Vox Machina, they were in the Feywild, right? So there was a city where the dad from Vex and Vex lives, and that city travels.
Yep,
but it's not a flying city, correct?
No,
it travels interplanetary. That's our word. It travels between planes.
Do we know what happened there with that city? Because they were about to jump, I think.
So basically, what we know of what's the name of the city? And
I don't
begins
know.
with S.
Still
not an
still,
A. No A.
Let me check the map. That's not the right map. That's Wamount. That's not.
I have a Wamount map behind me.
But do you know that
That's not
city
on
was
there.
around? It's one of those cities, just like I was gonna say Whitestone. Singorn is the name of the city.
Singorn, yes. I'm glad we have our lawkeeper here.
I have my books ready. I was gonna say Whitestone. It's not Whitestone. It's the big Vasselheim.
The chat was good. Also, hello.
So Vasselheim is one of those cities that was around during the Age of Arcanum and survived the Calamity. Singorn is also one of them, but they survived because they had the technology to interplanar shift, and they just was like, oh, shit's happening, let's bounce to the Feywild. And they went to hide to the Feywild for a couple of 100 years and then came back once everything was settled. And they still do the jumps back and forth. We saw it in Campaign 1 when the Kuroma Conclave showed up. They were like, oh, shit's getting dangerous, peace out, we're out. So they still do that, and they still have the technology. So of course, that technology is not as powerful as it used to be, because they can't just do it on the fly. They have to like charge up a lot and save up the energy, so they just do it in case of emergencies. But that's what's up with Singorn.
Yeah, but isn't that what the Cognosa Ward basically did? They just planar shift.
Yeah, that's what happened. They planar shift, but they planar shift to the Astral Sea, and eventually that drove them mad because
was it
corruption
on purpose?
From
Was the goal Astral Sea, or did they accidentally end up there?
I'm pretty sure the goal was Astral Sea, because they were influenced by a being that was there that was like, come see me, come
the obvious Fey trap.
If you come to the Astral Sea, you're gonna get so powerful, come bro. And so they came, and then eventually that drove them mad, because the Astral Sea is not meant to be lived in for long periods of time, apparently,
unless you're a sheep. Meh. So do we want to talk more about gods? Do we want to take a break real quick?
I'm down with whatever, honestly.
Same.
I'm just reading through my mess of notes to see if there's anything
from you still. I don't know if you guys want to talk more about some Novum and stuff like that, connections, or
Oh, we might as well, since we're talking about the Astral Sea stuff. If you have more stuff to talk about, I'm down. I hold on, let me post my
So the other runes they found, that's just parts of Aeor, Aeor splitting up, right? Where the baby was and stuff. That's just
if you look at the art of Aeor that's been posted recently, the art of the whole city, you can see it's on different levels. It's like different floating sort of squares all pulled together. So I imagine that what we're going to see is the main city falling or exploding or going somewhere else, and these other smaller sections are what form the ruins of Aeor in Islecross.
Yeah.
I think that's probably how it's going to work, just based on looking at the art and how the city is depicted. I think that's probably how that will be. But I genuinely do think, and I hope it's true, because I really want to see it play out, that we'll see what happened to the Cognos Award in these 3 sessions. And that will be the linchpin that causes everything. Like, that will be, you know, if there is a disagreement among the ruling classes, it will be that. It will be the Cognos Award walking away, opening up Aeor's defenses, and then the gods can take it down. And maybe it was an inside job. Maybe the players are in there to do that. Maybe they are these divine figures, and it's not D&D. It's Blades in the Dark. It's a heist. It's a honey heist.
That's what the chat keeps saying. It's a god's heist.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of the fall of Aeor itself, so we know that Aeor, like, when it fell, it kind of, I'm pulling out the map because, like,
let's pull out the map if you have it.
It's back there.
We know that.
I have it there.
Oh, you have it too. Nice.
I have it too.
Okay, Islecross, guys.
Aeor has many crash sites in Islecross. There's the main crash site that is what Belcells are currently visiting and what the Mighty Nine visited. But there's a bunch of other ruins that kind of like scattered as they fell. So, you know, because you know, a flying city that crashes is like a plane. There's going to be bits and pieces falling all over the place as they fall. And one of those things that kind of ties into another subject that we talked about a little bit, but I want to talk about a little bit more, the stasis bubbles. The little bubbles where many people of Aeor got stuck in time and are basically like in a time stop bubble that cannot be dispelled. So I was reading about that yesterday because it's still a big mystery. What the fuck is up with those? You know, like, before I bring my notes out and tell you guys everything I found, I want to hear what you guys think is up with those bubbles and how that happened and what is that?
Why we can't dispel them, or
just anything?
I mean, when those episodes first aired in Campaign 2 and I was watching through it, like, my interpretation was that it was moments in time locked, kind of like a time stop, but like a permanent one. And it's a case of, like, these powerful mage figures were in a position, okay, the city's falling, these people we're all about to die. I can do this forbidden incantation that will stop everyone from dying, but will be frozen in time. It's to slightly delve into a different fandom. It's what they did with Gallifrey in Doctor Who. Freezing it in a moment in time and putting it in a little pocket universe. It's that kind of, like, that's kind of how I interpreted it.
I mean, it was for sure for protection, so I'm not sure how much, but we also know the magic is wild, so something went wrong. So
So what I found during my research was that, like Terry says in chat, it is in fact a defense mechanism that went wrong, right? That we know that was, I think that was mentioned back in Campaign 2, while Caleb was trying to ascertain what the fuck was that. It's a defense mechanism that went wrong and kind of targeted the wrong people and, like, didn't exactly act how it was meant to, but it's basically effectively, just like you said, froze some people in a moment of time and, like, they're just frozen there forever. However, so we know that that technology was powered by a crystal. And that's something that I did not know. That technology was powered by a crystal, and that crystal can be found on the map. It's in the Wildmount, Explorer's Guide to Wildmount. There's a whole section about the stasis bubbles that I did not know about. And basically there's like a section about how to dispel those stasis bubbles.
Let me open my digital.
What page are we talking?
Hold on, let me grab that for you. It's at page...
I might actually have it on my phone.
124.
124.
Wildmount?
Yeah, Explorer's Guide to Wildmount.
Okay.
There's a whole section about like breaking the bubbles because they wanted to allow for like if the players want to try to break the bubbles, what Explorer's Guide to Wildmount basically says it's up to you. 124.
24.
The book says it's up to the DM how the bubbles can be dispelled, but they suggest a few things on how they can be dispelled. Could be a ritual that like the player has to find the ritual instruction in the Aeor, or they say the crystal in the Hallowwax Sanctuary powers the stasis bubbles. If it's destroyed, the stasis will be able to break.
Okay, there we go.
And then they have if it's in their Exalted State, the Arms of the Betrayers, which I think is a vestige of Divergence, but you can use that to break the bubbles.
It's where the Yetis were from.
Yeah. So the Yetis, what happened with the Yetis is that crystal flew off, landed on a Yeti, and instead of killing him, just basically, he's just stuck there, being kept alive by that crystal, but he's like, not dead, but not quite dead.
Yeah.
And then other Yetis nearby kind of started getting like intelligence out of just pure vibes from that crystal, which is crazy.
I love that.
So
that's amazing.
So an intelligent society of Yetis is now developed around a crystal that powers time stop bubbles. And there's this Yeti cadaver that's not really a cadaver because he's still alive. Is just chilling under that crystal.
That's so fucking cool.
It is cool. One question for you guys, since we talked about, I'm jumping back to Aeor, self-preservation and so on. Do you think the whole, I imagine it almost like a flying spaceship now because of the art, right? So I'm getting, especially with the Calamity and everything, I always get Battlestar Galactica vibes. At the end, it's just like we start over Stone Age, you know what I mean? But we have this Battlestar literally in the sky. Do you think everything was self-preservation, or did we actually have normal life on there too, like we had in Avalier, that there are still normal people living there? I mean, we kind of have them in the... up there in the Flesh City later, because they were doing normal things, as far as I remember. They were walking around. But do you think most of it was towards like, hey, we want to not explore, more sciencey stuff, like we want to experiment? And do you think, or was it such a small section and we only were focused on it because obviously the Mighty Nine ran into it?
I think because I don't think it would be called a flying city if there wasn't like normal people living in it. So I do think there was definitely, and I'm pretty sure when they were exploring, the Mighty Nine did like, there was like a garden at some point, or like a thing with trees.
Oh, the forest.
Oh my god,
there was like a forest.
Dead forest. Yeah.
Like if
This
there's
was
a flying city, like
we never explored that part because there was a connection to the Savalier Woods, but they never. They actually burned it down, so we'll never know.
Now that I think about it, because I've never really thought about it's a very good question. My gut instinct is that externally the city is all defense protection, but on the inside of the city we've basically got flying fallout shelter. And society continues on as normal in the bowels of the city.
And what's the point of creating all this defense tech and like protection if there's no one to protect? Maybe it could be just for like all the crazy experiments that they're doing, but like it would make sense to be like a protection for people as well. Like
and protecting your big secret god-killing weapon.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, they did need air, so it makes sense to have like a forest and gardens and whatever up there. They need to, they can't trade for sure. I mean, especially when everybody is fighting, you can't really trade with other things. Plus, the other cities were down already, so they are probably the only one left, right? At this point, we said
they probably had those things from Star Trek where you just say, "Oh, tea Earl Grey hot," and it makes you a.
That's what I keep thinking. They're so far advanced. If you can fuck around with time and just stand in there and refresh, and you're like, "Oh, I'm 20 years younger." So.
I would not be surprised if we saw futuristic shit like that in
I'm pretty
Aeor
sure.
in this. I think there's going to be very little fantasy. It's going to be sci-fi.
It is sci-fi.
Now that I think about it, I'm pretty sure, like 99% sure that there was like city stuff because FCG was a servant robot that was serving, like he had a master and he had like a bunch of other robots doing like regular household managing stuff, like housekeeping. He was like a housekeeper robot, or like at least was close to some housekeeper robots. So like if there's no house, why would housekeeper robot be there, you know?
Yeah. What
true.
about what's his face, Devexian? Is that his name?
Yeah, Devexian.
Devexian.
D. Which I didn't make the connection. I think it's just like because I was sleeping through most of these three. I'm like, oh, D is Devexian. That was also the theory. We haven't talked about it yet. Sam, we love you, which we wanted to do right at the beginning of the stream.
We got carried away with exciting.
Well, we remembered. So Sam, all the love to you from everyone. I know it's a lot, but yeah.
You put the mighty in Mighty 9.
Yay.
I'm honestly, little parenthesis on Sam. It's mind-blowing to me, the strength of that man, in a way. Like, that he's a voice actor who lost his voice for a while, and here he is, like, he's back. Like, the king is back. How fucking... It's crazy insane what he's done, and I'm very proud, and I'm very, like... Props to him for all of that, you know.
And there were we talked about what character he would come back to as, because we had a theory he would jump into an existing one. So D was one idea that he comes back as Devexian, which could have made sense. I mean, this makes so much more sense because we also talked about like the wound he had and stuff like that. It all kind of came together. It also makes sense with a Minotaur because I think before when he played the smaller characters, and now it's like after this battle, like having a bigger and like outgoing character, it just, I think it fits, it's good. Let's say it like this. But that was the moment when I'm like, oh, Devexian actually sold FCG. I did not make that connection because I think I literally slept through that episode where they explained it. So bad. So yeah.
Oh man, FCG cameo?
Will we see FCG?
Yeah.
It's so possible. I can see Brennan rocking a smiling day there.
Do you think someone's going to play Devexian?
I don't know if we'll see Devexian.
I mean, he could be another one of those cameos played by Brennan, but I don't think we're going to see a player character playing Devexian.
I think on the subject of cameos, though, I was thinking about this earlier as well, like, and connections with Calamity, you know. Everyone's obviously raving about, Bolo, bring Bolo back. And I know Brennan's teased because he got asked a really good question in that interview, which was like, have you established the Aeorian accent with Bolo? He's like, are we going to hear that accent again? And he kind of dodged the question a little bit, but in a really clever way, because he was like, that accent will pop up, but it's not necessarily an Aeorian accent. But, at this point in the Calamity, Aeor will essentially be a refugee spot because it'll be one of the few safe places on Exandria. Ironic. But So there is potential we could see some cameos from Calamity in the sense of like maybe Seret's kids grown up with their own kids could find their way there. That would be tragic.
How old? Our Aarakocras, I think, have a normal human lifespan.
They would not be alive.
They would be dead by then, but
their children,
descendants.
But they have the fucking sphere from Asia.
Can we actually talk about that? I know Patch and I share the same theory on that because we've talked about it. Okay. My personal theory.
Okay, last one.
After Pasha, because if you guys don't know, Pasha Porco was like basically. She had a sphere that was basically the library of Alexandria. It had every knowledge ever in that sphere. And she teleported it to Maya, who is Seret's daughter, for safekeeping. What do we think happened to that? Because I have a theory. And that
I always was hoping there's a spin-off. Just from there.
I agree. I really want to see what the fuck Maya did. Like, even if it's just like a little cameo of like, hey, I'm a kid, I now have every knowledge in the world with me, what do I do with it? But my personal theory is that Maya grew up and kept protecting that sphere, and she founded the Cobalt Soul to protect that knowledge.
That's freaking cool.
That's how I made Renee, was based on that. The fact that that knowledge still exists in Exandria. It's just very protected, and it's the Cobalt Soul who protects it in their like restricted area.
We had a flashback last episode where we did all that.
May I just say, my character is so basic. She's 6 years old, and they have all the history. They have all the history of Critical Role. My character is a fucking duplicate of Jester and is 6 years old. There's nothing. There's literally nothing. I feel so bad right now.
Oh, you don't even know the half of it, Sarah. There's stuff I haven't told you about your character.
About me? Or about Renee?
What I will
know there's
say,
a
though,
lot.
what I will say is, while I 100% agree with that hypothesis, if it doesn't end up being true, I want you to know it is 100% canon in the Quest Junkies iteration of the Critical universe.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Great.
Because I love it so much.
It's amazing. I mean, we just signed a petition, period. We make it canon.
And like that's because just a little background for those of you who don't watch Wildmount Chronicle. I have a character, Renee. She's a nerd. She's a big fan of Laren, Cor Marceli, and the reason for that being is that it was revealed last episode, so now I can say all of it out loud, and I don't have to keep it from everyone. But Renee once snuck into the Cobalt Soul like restricted area and read a bunch of things about Aeor. That she was not supposed to find at all, but she read about Laren. She was like, "Oh my god, this wizard is so cool. She's making all the robots that I want to make. Oh my god, I love this woman." And she renamed herself after Laren, and now she's Renee because she's such a big fan of Laren. And so that's the whole basics of that's cool. That's the idea behind Renee is
Renee's
based on the fact that Maya started the Cobalt Soul, and I really hope it's true.
It makes sense. Where would all the knowledge come from if you already have a sphere with so much shit? I mean, hello.
And why would the Cobalt Soul be so...
Plus, it's a thing Marisha also would do, even if she didn't do it consciously. You know, it's the whole Cobalt Soul connection. It's just it would be perfect. We can talk about that a bit more. I think we're gonna go on a break in a second. We still have Ludinous to talk about and a lot of other things. Also, we should dive back into who will play whom, what classes are we thinking, and also we have a bingo to make, which we need your help with. Yes. And it would be really cool if you would join us. So stick around. What are we doing? Like 5 minutes?
Yeah. That's good.
5 minutes, okay? 10 minutes, what do you guys need? Just,
I'm good with
okay.
5.
You guys also get some snacks, get some drinks, get some Fireball. I don't care. I'm not your
Snacking
mom.
is important.
and we'll see you in a second. I hope Yura is ready. Let's see. And there we go. And welcome back. No, I'm just kidding. That would be hilarious, though. False. Anyway, welcome back to our episode of the Tavern of Theories on Tales of Exandria. And we're talking about the downfall of Aeor. What the F is up with that? Since we are allowed to say fuck, what the fuck is up with that? Before the break, we were actually talking already a lot about like Calamity and connections to Avalier and Aeor and Campaign 2, Campaign 3, tiny bit of Campaign 1, gods and betrayer gods and Pthos and I don't know, cities on the moon. There was a lot of things going on. But we are back. We have a couple of things. One, we do want to do a bingo with you guys. So it's still me. Let's go to the other people. Okay, so we're back. Patch, Sasha, if you accidentally say Renee, I'm sorry. It's just like so inbuilt.
Just a force of habit.
Yeah, it is. The alter ego. Anyway, so we are back. We still have a lot to talk about. We need to do the bingo. Pretty much our prediction, what will happen, like, will Laura be a wizard? I don't know.
Should we just jump on the bingo real quick if we wanna? If we're not.
Do you want to do the bingo first? Okay.
If we want to.
Yeah, let's
Sure.
do it.
Okay, chat, help us. Do your predictions
let me introduce the bingo a little bit. So, I have a Discord server, and in my Discord server, every month I run a new bingo board. So we have a bingo board that I put a bunch of theories on. Some are silly, some are dumb, some are very unlikely, but some are just stuff that happen almost every episode. And we just make a bingo card out of it, and we run bets on, do we think we're gonna hit a bingo today? And it's just a very fun game that we run in my Discord server. And I thought it might be fun to make a bingo board for Downfall and put a bunch of stuff on it that's gonna be maybe happening, that we hope is going to happen, and see if we can get a bingo by the end of this series.
Or every episode.
Oh my god. I used to have a bingo every episode. It is... Okay. It's so much harder than we think to make a bingo card. Mm-hmm. So, like, making one every week, it was hell. It was that's why we're doing monthly bingos, so now I only have 12 to make every year. But yeah, and also it's very rare that you get a bingo, because a bingo is it's a 5x5 grid, so like you have to get 5 squares in a row to get a bingo. It's very rare to get it, but I thought it could be fun to make a bingo board with you guys.
I think number one we all agree on Bolo.
Yes.
Cameo Bolo.
Yeah, Bolo cameo, Bolo anything.
Bolo PC, I don't think that's gonna happen, but it would be freaking hilarious, but it's gonna be a cameo. It has to.
Bolo BBEG.
Who wants to quote Bolo? I need some Bolo quotes here.
This city, can you destroy?
Can you destroy? This bag is annoying me.
Can you destroy?
These gods, they are
destroy.
Annoying.
I need the foods.
I just want the drinks.
Give me the drinks. Give me the bubble.
I agree.
Make the bubble go poof.
I had a few things that I had prepared to put on this bingo board. Mm-hmm. So Bolo was one of them. So congrats, we all agree on that one.
Oh, we have a bingo already.
Yay! The other one I was thinking was Ludinus.
Yes, shows
Are
up
we
as a
going
kid.
to get a mention, a cameo, anything?
A kid. Yes.
A kid that's called Ludinus. Maybe Father Deleth is here.
Maybe.
And
what if he's an arch, like a high mage bullshit thing?
So I have had a theory since Calamity, which, as of last episode, has been somewhat disproven, but I am not willing to give up on it.
Okay,
because
cool.
my overarching theory from Calamity was that Ludinus Deleth is Loris of the Weaver's Mask. who was the big evil archmage in Avalier. Now, in the last episode, because they were like physically described as being practically identical, the long white hair, the same features, the clothing style.
You mean a basic ass
basic
wizard with
bitch.
white hair?
Basic ass wizard bitch, yes.
Okay.
But then in the last episode of C3, the live show, when Matt was doing his big ludinous monologue, he said something on the lines of, "Oh, I saw it all happen. I was but a child at the time." So I was like, shit, okay. Maybe Loris is his dad, maybe. But, because I don't want to give up on the theory, is he just being ludinous? And what he meant was, I was young and naive, and I fucked around and found out. Because he's also an elf.
I was a kid and I was 100 years old,
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, question. Is the version we have right now, is it a replica? Is it just a refreshed version? It's been a long time now since Calamity. Elves don't get that
hasn't
old,
been
right?
that long.
How many
It
hundred
actually
years?
hasn't been that long. Because it's only been... we are currently in 843 post-Divergence.
Would be a fucking old elf.
Yeah.
It's about
Considering
1,000
that
years
Aeor
ago.
had technology of, how we talked about earlier, that Aeor had technology to make them
Had.
younger and stuff.
Head.
Yeah.
We don't have that anymore, right?
Well,
Or
it's
does he?
still out there. Jester used it to age herself up, and there was still Ludinus could very well just have it hidden somewhere. Maybe in Malarsmere he used it, and that's what fucked up everything, because he fucked up the machine and he refreshed himself a couple of years younger. So now he's still a regular guy, and he's still kicking and throwing around. Of course, we have to mention that the Calamity lasted hundreds of years, and it ended with the Divergence, which is year 0, basically. So we are currently, the downfall of Aeor is going to happen 100 years into the Calamity. There could be a couple of 100 years left to the Calamity, but we have to keep that in consideration. If we think that Ludinus is Loris from the Weaver's Mask, he definitely used some sort of time stop on himself, or refreshed himself with aged himself down, because elves live long, but not that long,
Yeah.
So,
Just from a standpoint of general storytelling, Ludinus would be the ultimate critical role BBEG if this was true, because he's been there the whole time, much like Sam Reich over on Dropout.tv. He's been there since EXG Calamity.
Been here the whole time.
Yeah, I want it to be true, and I want Matt to have to do that. I've been here the whole time.
Yeah.
Actually, we get a guest DM again, and it's Sam Reich, and he's
That would be hilarious.
I've been here the whole
Get
time.
ready for a game changer.
Isn't the harvesting via the harness what keeps him alive, like a mage vampire from the chest?
I don't know if it's what keeps him alive, but it's something that he
Refreshing
uses
him?
to get more power. I don't think it's the same technology to stay young and stay. Maybe the power keeps him alive. Sure, but I think.
Does he have a
it's the different
stasis
technology.
chamber?
Yeah, he has a stasis chamber somewhere.
Yeah.
I mean, if you really want to boil it down to more simpler things, just in general D&D canon, when druids like Keyleth get to a certain level, they just stop aging.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
someone
true.
as powerful as Ludinus could surely do that as well.
And
That makes sense to me.
That's a good
What's
point.
his
Maybe
deal?
he absorbed the power from a very powerful druid that stopped, and now he ages
One of the
slower.
Galdrashari, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Oh, okay. Now it click just now.
This is our life.
My
Sarah.
question. Yeah. Okay, if he has been around, if he has the technology or whatever, stopped aging, what the fuck is he doing right now? Is it just because he's bored, he's trying to kill gods? What's going on?
I mean, I think
Ludinus is very, very, very mad at the gods for what happened in the Calamity. He blames them, he's mad at them, he hates them. And so ever since he was a wee child, or maybe not a wee child, as we've just discussed, he has been wanting to destroy the gods, and he's been working towards that. And it just so happens that right now he's very close to achieving that goal.
That's the end from the live show, so the last thing we literally heard. But that implied he was a child in Aeor, not in Avalir, right?
Yes, he was a child in Aeor, is what he revealed.
So if his parents were involved in the split or were killed because they were fucking around with that stuff, he has a reason to be mad at the gods.
Okay, idea just hit my brain. Laura Bailey.
The mother of Ludinus. Oh my god.
The mother of Ludinus Deleth. Because of how much vitriol and hate Laura Bailey has for Ludinus Deleth, that would be so good.
I'm just quoting. Wait, what was it? It's like, but he's so nice. As Chester, he's so nice. I'm not sure what you're talking about. His hair is so nice.
I low-key want to see Laura Bailey play an evil character, because I bet she could.
She's ready for it.
She could out malice Matt as an evil character.
Oh yeah.
She'd be cold. She'd be a cold bitch.
Oh yeah. You know what's crazy? After watching like Calamity again, I'm like, I hear Laudna all the time because Peja already sounds like Laudna partially. So you already have the vibes going.
Yeah, I can't really picture Peja Porco going, hello, yes, I made this rat.
But it's just like when she lowers the voice and being like a little, it's not crazy mad, it's just like the way she started talking, it's already hinting towards
there's a really fun TikTok that Laura Bailey made. Laura Bailey has made very few TikToks.
Yes.
But one was a vocal challenge where she said the phrase, that shirt looks great on you, but she did it in her different voices. So the first one was Jester, and it was like, oh my god, that shirt looks great on you. And then she did it as Vex, and her voice just dropped and was like, that shirt looks great on you.
Yeah. I made a TikTok with that. I remember. I think it was actually merch, so I was just very merch, but I wish they would do more TikToks. But I understand.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I need to do more TikToks. I suck
So
at TikTok.
do I.
Apologies to anyone who follows me on TikTok. I'm dreadful at it.
I went on a hiatus and then tried to come back, but I don't know how I used to do it, releasing that many TikToks, and now I'm like, how did I find the time in my life to edit those? Jesus Christ.
I mean, I'm glad you did, because that's how I discovered you.
Yeah, that's how a lot of people did it.
From watching your Mighty Nine watch through.
Yeah.
It was so good.
I started back with Vox Machina. Started watching Vox Machina.
I remember that.
Mighty Nine.
Yeah, I remember the Mighty Nine and stuff, how you kept on getting closer and closer. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's like before we'd even spoke, I remember like watching Critical Opus and like, oh my god, Sasha's gonna lose their mind.
Yeah. You know what's crazy? I never watched the talks and stuff. He shall not be named, but there are still a couple out there. So and compilations and stuff. Okay, I'm addicted to Shadowcast right now. So we're drifting away from Downfall right now, but it's cool because there are edits where people just gathered everything, and then you get a complete different insight, and it's like, wow, okay. It is fucking amazing. So anyway, back to Downfall. So Ludinus, let's assume he was a kid. And his mom is Laura Bailey.
Yes.
So she's called the last name, is a wizard, as you guys said. What if she is a warlock instead? Because she's always wanted to play a warlock.
Ooh, a wizard warlock multi-class could be interesting.
If she is a warlock to a darker power.
Although, because again, going back to the divine figures, maybe each character has like at least a little bit of divine. So there's some clerics, there's some paladins.
Yeah, I was thinking
And
about that.
I know that Laura historically has always wanted to be a paladin as well. So that could be an option.
Paladin wizard multi-class would go crazy.
Oh, mind blown.
Whoa. What if it's just all like the Knights of the Round Table? They're all paladins with wizard.
Wait, can you put Divine Smite on a fireball? Because that would be broken as fuck if you could.
That would be
I holy cleanse you.
9
Holy
level
fire.
fucking
Holy
fireball.
fire.
Oh wow, I love that.
I have some
So will
homework
we
to do.
have one who's working in a lab or something, who's actually experimenting on shit?
That sounds like Taliesin.
Ooh, crazy professor type.
Yeah, and that's how we found the Somnovan and becomes
All right.
Lucian eventually, and the circle is complete.
Yeah. Okay, back to the bingo. Should we put Taliesin on there? Should we make a guess about Taliesin?
I think I want to put just Cognosa on there. There has to be some at least reference to it. Like they can't not.
Hello. That's not possible. Not.
In terms of what kind of character, I'm not sure for Taliesin.
And an actual holy hand grenade, yes.
He's another one who
Good
I'd
shit.
love to see play a wizard, because I don't think I've ever seen Taliesin play a wizard. But I imagine he'd do that very well.
Ooh, someone in chat, Terry in chat said, didn't Tal say in a Sick Day Live that he had a monk built for a new EXU that he shut up immediately?
Yeah.
Alice
Okay,
playing
put
a
that.
monk would go so hard.
Hell yeah.
Also, it would prove the theory because he likes to go and go and go and add another go. You know what I mean? He likes to hit shit and put another action surge or whatever monks do. Fuck brain.
Flurry of blows.
No, key points. There we go. He can add
Yeah.
So
Like Shill
Hell
says
yeah.
in chat, his characters are so varied, there's no pattern. He's just like me. There's no pattern. When I make a character, I'm like, okay, what class haven't I played before? Let's do that. And I just go wild. Taliesin is the same. He's very hard to predict on that. But I think Monk would be fun.
He likes his extra shit, and with Monk he can put the key in there. So
I think we can say one thing for sure. It will be a nightmare for cosplayers.
Yes.
can we put that on board? Nightmare for cosplayers, Taliesin's character. You know what I mean? Yeah. Okay, if you guys have more suggestions, please put them in the chat. We are looking on the chat too, so don't worry about it. We do read it.
I had 3 more bingo things that I mentions of Avalier.
Yes.
Any type. I'm pretty sure it's almost bound to happen. So it's kind of like a little easy to get square on there. I want to see the stasis bubble get deployed.
Yes,
I think
gonna happen.
I think we're gonna see that happen.
Yes.
And
I mean, we know what's happening. It's gonna split, so we don't have to put that on the bingo card. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's for sure.
But when I make a bingo card, I always put a few at least that are almost guaranteed, because that way it creates more stakes of like, are we gonna get a bingo or not? Because if I just put like a bunch of crazy theories on there,
I know.
right? So that's why I put stasis bubble on there, because like it's bound to happen.
I want.
So
Yeah, you had another one.
the last one I have is FCG cameo.
Yes. FCG and Dancer. I'm sorry, I need the vaccine again. So, mention
Vaccine.
please.
The vaccine would be cool.
Yeah.
Great suggestion in chat from Tari Elvin. TPK. 100%.
I am putting this on there.
There's not going to be no Travis Willingham rolling a fucking 31 on a DC of 30. It's not happening.
Actually, I could see it go both ways. Either it's a TPK or everyone survives. Because if they're playing Champions of the Gods,
Yeah, they'll
maybe
survive.
they could get saved by their gods, but like,
Look, they're all
I
SMRs,
think
they can
Brennan
fly
is
away.
itching for a TPK.
They all have wings, they can fly. They're fine.
Yeah.
Can I throw
okay.
in a really wild card suggestion?
Yes,
No.
I love that.
Of course, go.
Because I've not seen anything to say that this couldn't happen. What if they're playing Daggerheart for it?
No.
Ooh,
No.
that could be fun, actually.
If they could, what better way to because we've theorized for a long time that eventually Crit Roll will just swap to Daggerheart, and that'd be a way to test the waters.
I think it could, but also the one thing that I'm like goes against that is that the fact that this campaign, like this miniseries, is not a campaign by itself. It's considered to be part of the campaign 3. So I would see that. It can totally happen because they're doing a completely different time in history, but also like the going back between maybe
It's
would
not
be a
gonna
little.
happen. The vibe's not there. Daggerheart feels the whole collaborative and the cute races and stuff like that. It doesn't feel we're taking the whole fucking world down and it's burning. It doesn't give the vibe.
True.
I mean, you guys might be right because they just push the next beta version, I think, or whatever version.
On a
But-
slightly related idea, maybe we'll see some new homebrew from Matt and Brennan. So
Taliesin?
like someone will be playing a new subclass that will be in a as yet
Oh, for
unreleased
sure.
crit roll thing.
For sure.
You know, we could have the Order of the Aeorian fucking, I don't know, faithful caregiver. Something.
I mean, Louis' character went off the charts with the stats back then. Do we have something like that again?
Maybe.
Oh, we definitely have some crazy stats for sure. For sure. Like,
I mean, it's going to be high level, isn't it?
yeah.
Like, will it be level 20? Because Calamity was level 14.
14, yeah. I'm really hoping it's gonna be level 20. I'm gonna be entirely honest, because when Calamity happened, I was a little bit disappointed at first that it wasn't level 20.
Because they're so high powered, they should have been.
Yeah. Well, also they weren't the highest, so it kind of makes sense. And if you give the players just level 20, they could have maybe managed to stop it, which you don't want that to happen. So level 14 made sense in the end. But I feel like for Aeor, if my theory of they're going to be playing, their goal in the series is going to be to strike down Aeor, it would make all the sense that they're overpowered at level 20 and get to do everything to just strike that fucking city down, you know?
If they're playing Champions of the Gods, absolutely level 20.
Yeah, for sure.
There would be no other way to do it.
I think I'm putting that on the bingo board. Level 20. I think that's going to be a square.
Ooh, we have another suggestion in chat. A situation between PCs like Abria and Sam had. I like that.
Or
Yes.
or a relation like Vex and Vex, so siblings or something.
Ooh, also good. I mean, we could like we talked about before. We could have both of Ludinus's
My
parents.
camera just switched. Interesting. Okay, my camera keeps switching. Thanks, Magic Man.
It's our director. He's doing the magic. It's God.
Hey, we have
God,
a
are you there?
director. No, I fixed it. Okay. Okay, let's put that on.
Do we put
Also,
siblings or do we put situationship on the bingo?
Put situationship, I think.
Situationship, I think.
I mean, you can have both if you wanted to, like, or you say connection between, but I'm pretty sure they know each other of some sorts. So.
Yeah, I think situationship. Because it always makes for good, interesting storytelling.
Dude, if
I'm just
another ship
reading
makes me
the-
cry like Laren and
Holy shit.
Loquacious, oh God. Critical Role, you will hear from my lawyers. You will get my therapy bill in the mail.
The reaction Bria had to the speech Sam gave. Like, remember? And then at the end, the advertisement, it was so good. It was freaking good.
Sam getting emotional in any way always gets me.
Me too.
I think Loquacious, dagger to like it's
absolutely.
It's one of the reasons I'm absolutely obsessed with Calamity is because of Loquacious and Laren and how fucking how many feelings they made me feel. Yeah, which is crazy because it's a one shot. Like it was like a 4-episode thing, and I have so many feelings about these silly little.
It's not just a one shot because one shots are like, hey, you have like the party meets and knows each other, and you have an adventure and bam done. That's not it at all. And no, it's like what every episode is like 4 or 5 hours long. It's like
it's a 20 hour or something.
Yeah.
Like the fact that I get so much feelings from 20 hours of D&D, like Jesus Christ, they did so well.
Well, we have a lot of lore too, and a whole world. Thank you, Matt. Okay, what if we... okay, let's talk. We have 6 players, right? Yeah, 6 players. So 3 Critical Role cast, 3 not Critical Role. And what are we thinking? Let's go with a theory that we have a monk. So that's melee. We have Laura, who plays a spellcaster because we want her to. What about the others? How many spellcasters will we have? How many other classes? What do you think? What's the mix?
Because Aeor is a mageocracy, as far as I'm aware, much like Avalier, I think, like we did in Calamity, there'll be at least 2 spellcasters, if not 2 wizards.
I think we're gonna get at least like half spellcasters or like half casters, or I think most of them are going to be mostly half casters.
Are we getting
maybe like 1 or 2 melee classes in there? But
are we getting an artificer?
Yeah. I think that's likely. Yeah.
Do you want to put that on the bingo card?
I would like to see some artificer. I agree putting that on bingo card. Artificer.
It's Renee who has time traveled back to Aeor.
Actually, you weren't supposed to say that because the truth is, in Renee's backstory, she was born in Aeor, and you were supposed to know.
That's why there's graffiti of a dick on the wall. It's because you guys in Wildland Chronicles time travel back to Aeor, and it's
exactly.
Never. Wait, why are you telling me my backstory now? I'm 6. Stop it. I'm Ludinous child. Stop it. I don't want to be.
I have a feeling that Ashley, I don't know why, it's the same, because back when they announced Calamity and the players that were playing, I did a video on TikTok trying to predict the player characters, and I got most of them right, which is crazy. And it was just mostly gut feeling and vibes, and I have this gut feeling again for Ashley, and I have a feeling she's gonna play some sort of like goth or like betrayer related character.
That would be cool.
Of, like edgy ass person. I don't know what class, I don't know what betrayer, but I have a feeling it's gonna be some goth edgy betrayer shit.
That would be really cool.
So I've gone in the complete opposite direction to you on Ashley Johnson.
Oh, really?
So this is my prediction. I think Ashley Johnson will play a paladin of the Everlight to tie in with Pike.
With Pike.
I think because we've seen looking at
Ash is a gremlin.
Ash player before. She is a gremlin, but she has the capacity to also be an incredibly dramatic actress, and I think we haven't seen enough of. We saw glimpses of that with Yasha, and then she went very gay because Beauregard liner.
She just wasn't there.
Exactly, and I think like probably doing the voiceover for Vox Machina is probably like. I imagine she probably feels like I kind of want to do this again.
Yeah, I kind of miss Pike kind of deal.
I want both of what you're saying, but I also want her to be a bard. It doesn't have to be now. I just want her to fucking entertain and sing and do shit. But I don't think it's the right place to do. I want her to
hear
be
me
a bard.
out. Do we think someone is gonna play a College of Tragedy bard? I have been waiting for this fucking day.
I want Liam to do it, but he's not there.
I think that's
I
Liam
thought it was
next
gonna happen in
campaign.
I
Calamity.
hope so. No, that's Daggerhard.
But
Sorry.
I think I'm putting that on the bingo card. College of Tragedy bard.
Do it.
Anyone.
Okay, so Taliesin could be an amazing tragedy bard, but he's not, since we said monk.
Monk, or I'm going to say artificer.
Artificer would be fun too, but that's kind of what Percy was, although he was a fighter.
Kind of.
You know what I
Well,
mean?
You know,
So the
I'm
three
still-
other players are
Yes.
Abubakar Salim, Noshir Dalal, and Nick Marini.
Yeah.
Noshir was in Candela. I haven't watched Candela, so I don't know his vibe at all. But I have a feeling Abubakar could be a College of Tragedy kind of person.
potentially.
Like I know
yeah.
a little bit of him because he's like a game dev, so I know like generally his. I feel like he could do it, like a College of Tragedy. That would be fun.
He plays a very interesting character in the House of the Dragon series as well, currently on HBO.
Yeah.
And Noshir Dalal is an incredible voice actor. Was brilliant in Candela. He is probably one of the best people out there for playing someone who's quietly menacing. So I think he would lean into that vibe. I definitely want to see that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. Maybe I could see Noshir Dalal playing some sort of, again, I've said it before, but again, like a paladin, but like maybe an like Oath of Order.
Okay.
I don't know, Path of Order, whatever it's called, but like an Order paladin that's just all about you do this by the rules.
A paladin will be in there, pretty sure.
For sure.
Okay.
I think that's guaranteed.
Someone in chat, Lilac Companion in chat, isn't Breus a tragedy bard paladin? We don't know the subclass of Breus at all. We know he's a paladin bard. That's it.
I can't remember
he's
what
a
he
paladin
cast, but...
of a betrayer god. He's a paladin of Asmodeus. So the edgelord vibes are coming from this, but I don't know if there hasn't been anything to give us tragedy bard.
Didn't he cast some shit which we could use to figure out the subclass? I can't remember. I would have to rewatch it.
He did cast. I don't remember what he cast, but I remember looking into it, and it was mostly a generic bard thing.
Yeah, okay.
Didn't, but because I looked into it after that, and
It's also, didn't he have more? I can't remember. Did he have more bard or? It doesn't matter.
I think he has more paladin with a little bit.
It would
of
make
bard.
sense to have more paladin with Asmodeus, but the bard needed to be in there. So anyway. Asmodaddy. Okay, so we have Laura set on Spellcaster. We have Taliesin set on Monk or Artificer or something, just to get the crazy experimentation going.
Monk Artificer subclass would be like multi-class would be crazy.
Would that work?
Yeah, look at these,
I've played both. It would
knuckle
work.
dusters I've created that I can punch the shit out of you with.
Yeah, I just played both. Both of them could work together. I haven't played a multi-class, but I know both of them because I build a character that's multi-class. Monk Bard,
But
Monk Artificer, but I've never played it.
What would be the profile? I'm just working out a lot and also work in the laboratory.
I mean, look, as someone who comes from the IT world and is now in game dev, I can tell you there is two types of tech people. There's the massive weeb nerds or D&D nerds and stuff, and there's the gym bro, like,
oh my god,
techs.
And in the middle you have Henry Cavill.
Guys, guys, we weren't talking about it because we are not thinking that way, but there's a fucking forest. Can we have a druid?
Oh,
I think, that's a good shout.
That's fun.
It's not gonna happen, but there is a forest.
There is a forest.
some hippie vibes would have totally not fit the whole vibe. It would be just like, what the fuck?
That could be a Nick
They could
Maroney
be
thing.
Wild Mother related, so they're the champion of the Wild Mother sitting there and planting trees.
Yeah. Lilac says in chat, what if the Artificer makes Aeor like FCG or is working on FCG or
yes,
D?
please.
I would love that,
Yes.
please.
Yes. So would we have someone who is running like parts of like either the we want Cognosa to stay here or we want to be separate, you know? Would we have a leader in that section, one or the other side?
That was another theory I had, and I meant to look into it more before tonight, but I didn't get a chance. Like, we have 6 characters. Is there 6 wards in the city of Aeor, and each
That's a
character is going to be the leader of their section of the city?
I'm
That could
clicking
be an
on Aeor
interesting
now.
way to go about it.
We know of 4 wards, maybe 5.
Yeah.
Oh, there's the Rs, yeah.
Yeah, we know of 4. There's 4 wards that we know of. There's the Cognosa ward, the
there are more.
Praesidus ward, the Genesis ward, and the Ars ward.
Yeah.
And then there's the Dawn Crucible. That's not really a ward. It's like
It's a research facility.
But we know of 4. There could be more, but we don't know.
Yeah, because then that's also a good way for you to bring the players together. You know, a crisis is befalling Aeor.
That is...
You bring the leaders together to find out what they're going to do.
Yeah.
But
That
that
could be
is
the pie.
that is a cool thing. It's they study dreams and record them there. That is fucking cool.
That was
Yeah, yeah.
Cognosa, right?
No, the Dawn Crucible, the research facility. It's a crucible
really?
of dreams. Was the place where Aeorian citizens volunteered to have their dreams studied and recorded. Sorry.
Oh.
Threshold
fun.
crest in the ruins. Okay, cool. And they
It's
had
all coming together.
yeah, they had there's a lot of things in like B1, B2, B3, but yeah.
A question
The repair
mark.
terminal. Is the repair terminal like? Will we actually see stuff like that?
I think we're going to see some of it, guaranteed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because like surprisingly, as
T-Dog
the Mighty
project.
Nine was, yeah,
Bingo.
as the Mighty Nine was traversing the ruins, we saw a lot of it briefly, but like they traversed a lot of it. So I definitely think there's going to be at least a few places that we recognize.
Yeah.
Are we gonna see the rejuvenation chamber? Are we actually seeing someone getting rejuvenated?
I think so. I think that's going to be like a very
we put that on the
commonplace
bingo?
thing.
Bingo, bingo?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, because stuff like that, like, you know, when like the Mighty Nine found it, it's like, oh my god, this fantastical device. But back then, that would have been like, you know, the kitchen sink. You know, it'll be so normal to those people, I think. So yeah, it'll be kind of like, you know, like how in the beginning of Calamity, Brennan like talked about how a griffin made of stars was not an uncommon thing to see in the Flying City of
Yeah.
Gavalier, but to us, it's like, holy shit, what is that? That's amazing.
What about the Aeorian hunters? Is it the things that were chasing the M9? Imagine someone is a breeder for those.
Oh
But
my
we-
god.
we kind of touched on that earlier, didn't we? Like those horrific experiments, those creatures. Like
Oh my
we might
God.
get to see
Patch.
the beginnings of those experiments.
Patch, there is an
Yes.
art. That is the art from the. I just found it. I'll post it in the chat.
Ooh.
Where do I post it? Fucking
Oh.
hell.
Critical
whatever.
Role just went live with their Daggerheart 1.5 update.
Yeah,
We could go right into them.
we could. We should. That would be hilarious.
Yeah. There it is.
Oh yeah,
That
there's
is
the cat
the
with
thing
the
from the
eye.
wall.
There's the cat with the eye.
I was right.
It's an
Hell yeah.
absorber.
Yeah. I yeah. So yeah,
we're
I
definitely
wonder-
gonna see probably some starting of experiments on animals stuff, and then after the crash, magic goes wild ape shit and it just goes out of proportion and creates those monstrous things. That's
Okay.
fun.
Pitch. Ashley's character breeds stuff like that, and she is very goth, and she has very dark hounds, and they are absorbers, snifflers, and whatever. They absorb energy from people who misbehave and then push it back to them.
So
I like it.
So what you're saying is Ashley Johnson is playing Dr. Frankenstein.
No, that's Tellison. He supplies the parts for.
Interesting.
All right, we need 1, 2, 3, 4.
So, all of a sudden, I have a feeling someone's going to be a drow. Potentially, I mean, it's possible, but don't know.
It could be the precursors to the
Kryn Dynasty.
Kryn Dynasty, yeah.
Could be.
I mean, it crashed
Although
up there.
Ooh.
I don't know, how would they end
Okay.
up there?
Potential for the bingo card. Will we see a beacon?
I do think we know that Aeor was experimenting with dunamancy because
Yes.
that's one thing I forgot to mention when I was talking about the stasis bubbles is that
Yes.
it's theorized that they were dunamancy based and that the big crystal was dunamancy based. So I do think we're gonna see some beacon shit, like dunamancy shit at the very least.
Oh, is the Luxon gonna be part of the story?
I hope.
We might get
even
some
better.
big Luxon lore drops.
That is a completely different direction we weren't talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
But oh my god! But then we have actually like the scientists and the Luxon, you know, with the souls and the non-souls.
Science
That would be
versus
better.
religion, which is an age-old fight.
And which is Cognosa, because they were like, "Fuck you, sorry."
Exactly. We'll start
From
our own
chat,
city with
Drow
blackjack and hookers.
Okay.
Drow Paladin of the Luxon or Dunamancy Wizard build. Both of them would be awesome.
Yeah.
That's
Okay,
my next
we are
character.
getting the picture which we looked at just now, so everybody in the chat actually sees it too.
Yeah.
So the left one, that's literally what's on the wall. So yeah, that's
The
an
kitty
absorber.
from earlier.
Yeah. So that
Can
they
someone
basically
get that
absorb.
because I fucking called it.
They basically absorb, was it magic or energy or whatever from the person and throws it back at them, hurting them. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Cat-like. Body horror.
I think I'm putting that. I think I'm gonna put like weird creatures on the bingo.
For
we
sure.
could get more insight into like their original purpose because like now that I think about it, were they making weapons for a potential fight against Avalier? Because you know Avalier is a magocracy, so having creatures that nullify magic
Yeah.
kind of helps.
Yeah.
But that would speak for them not actually having magic, because they could turn on them, right?
Potentially.
Well, the thing is, if you have a one-on-one fight of like a wizard against a wizard, like it's kind of like a mirror match of like who's gonna be the quickest, right? So if you have something to nullify the other wizard's magic, then you can use your whole arsenal and take them down really easily because the other one has nothing.
The thing is, if they dominate that creature, it's really easy, and then they turn it on the other person. So I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but if the creature steals their magic, they can't dominate on the kitty. You know, it's like it's always a risk. Like if you bring out a gun to a fight, there's always the risk that the other person's gonna knock the gun out of your hand and turn it against you, right? Like
Okay, looking at the wiki, the Genesis ward, what was happening there?
The Genesis sword was
Is that where the rejuvenation stuff was?
Into the ground, creating a massive explosion. No, that is too far.
I need to rewatch.
Is it just where
the Genesis
people lived?
sword is where the Occultus Telemus is. It's basically a huge chamber where Ludinus Deleth has been working. So
that's the whole
where
thing where they
Hell cells are going.
where they are flying up and down with the different levels.
Yeah. That's where we are now.
And the Genesis.
Can we talk about Dominox?
Yeah, I was gonna say Dominox. That's
because
in the
Dominox ended
Genesis.
up there, and he was there way before, right?
He was
They're using
captured
him to
during
fuel.
the Age of Arcanum as a fuel.
Yeah.
And he's been stuck there ever since. And he just got banished back to hell by Pthos. Right?
Yes.
Yeah, and died. They destroyed him.
Well,
In hell.
he's a demon. He's not really dead. He's just back in hell.
No, in hell they destroyed him, so he's dead. He's gone forever.
No, they only die if you kill them on their home plane.
That's why they pushed him through the plane. He died. That's why he was on the other side of the plane. He was in hell, and then they destroyed him.
That's
so
right.
He can't come back. So he's dead.
That's correct.
That's not at all how I understood it. That makes sense.
Yeah. No,
I thought they were just pushing him back in the portal to banish him back to hell, and then they were like, he's gonna come back in a few hundred years, and we're gonna deal with
the point was having him there, so he is destroyed and can't come back.
Okay, that makes sense.
And that's
we might get this piece why, what Dominox was scouring.
They actually wouldn't need anything else because they had Dominox to fuel the city.
He wasn't fueling the entire city. He was fueling
Just
an
the
experiment
engine?
part. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many spaces have we got left to fill?
We have.
It says in the engine room of the city, so it was the engine of the city, right?
We have 9 spots left to fill.
9. Okay.
9.
Laura Bailey makes an inappropriate joke.
Yeah, we have to put it on there. I put it on there every month, and it always happens. One of my safe bets.
Yeah.
Can we say Brennans is gonna snack? That's a given. I mean.
Okay. I have a fun one from Game Changer. Brennan goes on an anti-capitalist rant. That's guaranteed. There's going to be some form of
capitalism in some form.
Yeah.
Well, let's
absolutely.
just say. I mean, we can put down monologue because he's a DM, but.
Shout out to Brennan Lee Mulligan. We love you, Brennan.
I would trust that man with my life, and I can't say that about most men.
I would trust that man with the canon of my stories. Brennan, I'm going to call you out now. Do you want to come over to a little place called Quest Junkies and come run some sessions for us? You can do whatever you want to my world. Whatever you want.
Did we put something down about the beacon yet?
Oh, I forgot to put it, so that's another one.
Beacon appearance, yeah.
Okay.
So we need
the party then made use of the immense. So they have the gates where they can, I think, travel in between the city to different locations, and that gate is the portal to the Astral Sea.
Yes.
So it actually already existed.
Yeah, or at least if I remember correctly, the Cognosa War, the people of the Cognosa, they hadn't used it yet. It was
okay.
They're working up to it.
Work in progress, and then they crashed the city, so they were like, oh, let's just bounce.
Yeah.
See ya. And then it went badly because they couldn't come back.
Yeah.
What about the Yeah.
Will we see any either vestiges of divergence being created or any more arms of the betrayers?
I think we will. Not necessarily created, but at least I think if we're going for champions, they are being wielded by some of the BCs, in my opinion. We can put that on there. Vestiges / arms.
What was the deal with... I'm so sorry, but I'm reading the wiki and they just make the connection between some Novum and Cognosa and whatever. And then the Vokodo vision with the astral sea, did he just have visions, or was he? Where did Wakoto come from? From the astral sea, right?
I believe. Hold on.
He.
I don't think he's gonna show
are-
up.
Names are hard, so I don't remember. I just don't want to
Is
say
it
bullshit, but I'm pretty
Great
sure.
Fire God? No, wait. Wakoto, Blade Limit Mercer.
Yeah. Vokodo is what?
Wakoto was fleeing from a sentient, nightmarish, hive-minded city in the astral sea.
Yeah. Okay. Vokodo, that's it. He was in the astral sea. He was from the astral sea, and then like the Cognosa ward showed up and tried to eat him, and he was like, I'm out, and then went to Rumble Quest.
Okay. So he's not gonna have any connection with, like, I mean,
I don't think so.
no. Okay.
No, probably not.
But we mentioned it, so if it comes up, we were like, we talked about it. Okay, T-Doc. The whole thing we put down with a rejuvenation.
Yes, it's on the bingo.
Yes. Okay. In our party fights, I don't know. Is someone fighting each other? Is someone killing another party member? We don't have to put that down. I'm just throwing things out there.
Animal companion from chat? Do we think someone's gonna have an animal companion? I think.
Oh,
If you have a druid?
yeah. If a druid, absolutely.
I mean, Arisa can have one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I have one. Especially given the fact that we've said that high level play, and because I know Brennan did this in Calamity, is he going to attempt to power word kill anyone?
Yes. I was rewatching the last episode of Calamity today as I was at work to like get myself in the mood, you know. And I almost forgot about the power word kill, and then I was like making dinner, making lunch, I think, and he started like. He didn't say power word kill at first, but I was like, oh, that sounds like a power word kill. Oh, that's gonna be a power word kill. And then he did it, and I was like, oh my god, I forgot about that. And I was like losing my mind. That sequence was so good. And I think Brennan was a little bit mad it didn't work. You can see he was like, gosh damn it, you guys stopped it, and you killed my guy who was supposed to power word kill. So I think he's gonna try and take his revenge and power word kill someone.
If they are level 20, he's gonna be super disappointed and shit. Okay, question. Will we have, since we had that in Aeor kind of because they reprogrammed some shit, automatons rising up, stuff like that,
the thing from
used against people
where because we know from that FCG was like a Aeormaton that was programmed to kill, but like
Frida
as he was programmed to kill, but like he was disguised as like a servant, and then he was supposed to be activated by a
do we
think we're gonna see that? Sleeper agent.
Sleeper agent, not FCG, but in general.
Automaton
rising or something. Oh, will we have an automaton in the party?
I think that's very likely, actually. An Aeormaton.
Yeah, I think because Aeormaton are described as the only robots that were ever created that gained sentience, and they came from Aeor. So it would make sense that someone would play an Aeormaton, because like we're in Aeor, y'all. Anything's fair game.
Yeah.
Okay, we need 2 more. We are so close.
Okay, let me see.
Ooh, from chat. Will Brennan also wear makeup for this?
I think so. I think so.
Yeah.
He's been up in his game ever since he did Dungeons and Drag Queens.
Yep.
So, here's one. What if there is? Do you think it's likely that there will be a successful 9th level spell counterspell?
Oh, we will have counterspell street.
I think it's possible, yeah.
Or if
But
you
I
wanted to
would
go
like
more
to
generic,
suggest as
have
well-
a counterspell train.
Yeah,
With
I was gonna
counterspell,
say,
Yeah, for
counterspell,
sure.
the bingo, I would
That's gonna
probably do,
happen,
like a
for sure.
counterspell battle.
Yeah.
I think that's our last one. We have a bingo with that, y'all.
That's a
Counterspell
bingo.
battle. Honestly, it's a very fun bingo. We have a bunch of varied stuff, from crazy theories to possible characters to Laura Bailey making dirty jokes and Brennan being anti-capitalism. I think we have a good balance.
Okay, if you're happy with that. I mean,
very
after
happy
next
with that.
episode, we can adjust if you
And
like.
we'll put it on socials so everyone at home
Yes.
can get a copy and watch along
You can
and
play
mark off their
along.
bingos. Yeah.
I think if you guys as well, I'm gonna put it out there. If you guys make your own bingo cards, share them.
Yeah.
I want to see them. We can make if you want to reuse the same squares that we did, but put them in a different order. Feel free to do that, and we'll see who can get a bingo. That's gonna be fun.
And use the hashtag Tavern of Theories so that we can easily find it if you post it.
Yes. If you have anything you want us to talk about, put it on the hashtag Tavern of Theories, and we'll check the hashtag.
That's a good
Hell
idea.
yeah.
Bring up next week.
Next time on Tavern of Theories.
So we haven't really talked about the creator hammer, aka Factorum Malleus. I don't know how to
Yes.
pronounce it differently. Any thoughts on that?
So the creator hammer is the big weapon that we've been talking about that like they test ran and that the gods are like, oh, what the fuck is up with that? Let's destroy the city because we don't want this thing around. I'm very curious about that. Okay, we talked earlier about the possibility of having Ludinus the Last's parents in some way involved. I think if anything, they're going to be involved in that, like the creation of that. Because how does Ludinus, who was a child during the Calamity, know so much about the Factorum Malleus? You know, other than him going through the ruins of Aeor or something. Like, I have a feeling that man knows too much about this particular weapon and particular thing.
I don't think it's a weapon.
I don't think it's a weapon in the sense of what everyone thinks, because I think it's a weapon because it is knowledge. Because a very long sort of very shallow theory of mine is always, and that has grown more and more as campaign 3's gone on, is that the gods are lying about being gods. And perhaps this all-powerful weapon is the proof of that being the case, and that's why they had to destroy Aeor, and that's why they had to act, and it's the reason why they locked themselves behind the divine gate, because maybe they aren't as immortal as they want the world to believe.
Yeah.
And Ludinus
maybe
knows
we
the
know.
truth, and that's why he's so angry.
Maybe
Crazy question.
Yes, go ahead.
So Raven Queen, we know, was created herself. What about if the other gods created themselves too? So
Exactly.
nobody knows because the memory is erased.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, what if, like, the Raven Queen ascended to godhood, but really she just figured out that the gods weren't actually gods, and she just showed up to kill the previous one and was like, I'm gonna take your place now. And that all the gods did that before her.
Yeah, and the other
they're just
gods were just trying to keep it
they're
under
just
lock.
chilling on their own plane of existence, being unbothered and having way too much power to
And
influence
maybe
Exandria.
the betrayer gods, all they wanted to do was to come clean about it and be like, well, you know what, let's just, why do we have to act like this? And that was the dispute. Like they were against the idea of keeping it all secret, and that's how they betrayed. Because let me just ask yourself, Xerxes, who did we betray?
Yeah.
Okay, quickly back to the creator hammer, whatever. The wiki basically states that it was not necessarily seen as a weapon, but more as a protection. For example, the vaccine saw it as a protection. So not we are attacking, but we are protecting ourselves from the gods, kind of. And then they were also talking about, that Frida, for example, tried to stop an attack on the room where the Great Hammer was located. Mm-hmm. Which I completely ignored because Frida was just for me a FCG, and that's basically what was remembered in my brain.
FCG love interest.
There's so much stuff. Maybe I should just go through the wiki next time beforehand because I'm like, whoa. There's so much.
We are the wiki.
I read through the wiki for the Factor and Malleus, and like you said, it is. Outsiders saw it as a weapon. But it's an interesting thing to explore about perspective. Of like, no, we see it as we're protecting ourselves because we know this person is powerful and could get us, so we're gonna make something that can fight back just in case. And from the outside, it looks like a threat. It looks like we're building something to destroy you because we're gonna come in for you. When it's not necessarily that, it's all a matter of perspective, right? Like maybe Aeor didn't actually want to destroy anyone. They just wanted to protect themselves. And then when people started fighting back because they were like, oh, Aeor is weaponizing up, let's attack them. And maybe that's how the small city got destroyed, like Lathras. Maybe Lathras was like, oh no, we're not gonna let you do that. And Aeor was like,
it's literally the fantasy version of the Cold War.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
It's literally what it is.
It's a Cold War, and it's weapons in general in America when you're like, I just want a weapon to defend myself. Yeah, I get that. But if there were no weapons, you couldn't defend yourself against weapons. You know, it wouldn't need to. It works in other countries. But it's the whole thing. It's literally a matter of perspective. And Cold War, obviously. So there's so much shit. God damn it. So what is our theory? Are we going towards the whole beacon situation? Are we going what is our idea? Will beacon be a main thing or just maybe mentioned? Or are we going more experimenting and we want to be our own entity? We want to be gods. No, gods don't exist, whatever. I don't know. Okay, what's the main plot besides a heist? It would be hilarious if we had we steal some broomstone at some point.
So
it's not helpful.
I did just remember one thing from Calamity actually that could be nothing, but it could be something. In the closing sort of monologue, Brennan did state that the ash cloud that covers the face of Exandria just lasts for 100 years. This is 100 years later. So maybe that's tied into it. We see that the ash cloud falls and the new face of Exandria is now free of that, and how we'll get to see how that changes things. That could be nothing. Just me obsessing over every line of dialogue in that 4-part series that I can't stop watching.
It's the Charlie Day meme of he said 100 years and now we're 100 years at the birth. Yeah.
Exactly.
I don't know what the theory is because we have so little to go off of as of plot-wise. We have so many infos about Aeor, we have so many theories about how it went down, but we don't have a lot of info about the plot for this specific miniseries.
We don't have context.
Yeah.
No.
But based on, you talked about it earlier, Patch, of the title being Downfall, and with the theme of EX2 Calamity being the decision that led to the downfall of Aeor and the start of Calamity. I think we're going to be seeing something similar of how it all went down in Aeor, maybe conflict between the wards of they don't agree on how the city should be run, and it leads to them being unable to defend themselves against the gods and their champions coming to get them. Now, are we going to see that from the perspective of the champions and then gods coming to destroy, or are we going to see that coming from inside perspective of like, we're fighting and we don't know what to do to defend ourselves and we're doomed to fail and die?
Yeah,
I don't know. It's kind of like the two working theories, I think.
Yeah.
In my brain.
It's a question that we'll probably be able to answer next week after we've seen the first episode.
Yeah.
I think my next question is it going to start with chaos like Calamity did, or is it going to start off quite nice and calm? Like, I'm curious what you think, how it's going to begin.
You mean the first one is chaos?
That would
Light.
be fun.
That would be hilarious. No, light we had already, right?
I feel like we're gonna start in a mix of both, because like we have to give a little bit of time to introduce the characters and their working dynamic with each other, and you can't really do that mid chaos combat. Like, hello, welcome to Critical. Let's roll initiative. Like that feels a little crazy. Could happen.
I've done that before. It's very fun.
Yeah, it could definitely happen. And I feel like if there's anything to do, it would be a Calamity-based thing of like, hey, we're in deep shit right now. Let's roll initiative and we'll talk later. We'll figure out who we are later.
Or it just starts with the end you're falling, and then it jumps to the beginning.
It just starts with make a death saving throw.
Yeah.
And then as he dies, like, let's see how that happened. Like, you're probably wondering how it happened.
I was literally about to say that.
Yep. Exactly. I think we're gonna start in a mixture of like controlled chaos, of like shit is happening very fast, and here's this character, and here's because we know that Brennan loves to give every player a little bit of a scene to introduce them to their characters.
Yeah.
So I think we're gonna have that amidst a little bit of chaos, because what is Calamity without a lot of chaos, you know?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
I mean, he might go the same way. Last time he started with Xerxes, I think, right?
Yes.
So that was hardcore. And then
I still part of me thinks that we might get a Luis Carrazzo cameo. Because I know Brennan and Luis obsessed over Calamity, both before and after. And I can see it happening. Will we get an Asmodeus cameo?
I mean, Asmodeus needs to be around, but I'm not sure if it's the right feel for this advanced. I don't know. Also, would he leave Dominox there? It's one of his dudes.
Maybe. That's
Dominox was already captured before the Calamity.
I know, but if like Asmodeus was around, he could be like, okay, we'll take you home.
Okay, so he left him there on purpose, because like, okay, I see what you mean. Maybe.
We don't know.
It's just a theory.
Okay.
Theory.
Have we said everything we want to say about Ludinus? Because he is a BBAG right now, is he?
He's a little bitch. I want to say that.
He's
just a tragic character of history. I never thought I would say that, because I don't actually like Ludinus.
He's a little poo-poo pee-pee baby bitch.
Did you see Patch needs to leave soon? Wait, what? Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't see that.
It's all right.
I think I covered everything I wanted to bring up tonight.
Okay.
I'm looking through my notes and I don't see anything I haven't talked about, so...
What's with your crazy notes?
Where do we begin?
Okay.
I'll probably have them more straightened out after next week. I think we've covered everything we probably can cover. I think we'll have a lot to talk about next week, because we'll be talking about
Oh,
not
yeah.
only what happened, but also what we got right and what we got wrong.
Yes.
Are you guys watching on Friday?
I'm gonna be watching on Thursday night as it goes live because I
Yeah,
cannot
I
wait.
mean you're in the other time zone anyway. For us, it's Friday already at 4 a.m.
Yeah, I have a pretty busy morning and afternoon on Friday, but then probably Friday night I'll be watching it.
Okay, cool.
I'll watch at least the first half live.
I mean,
that's what I usually do, and then I'll probably watch the rest at work the next morning because I love to have stuff in my headphones as a
Same.
podcast. So.
We'll be screaming at each other, I think. For the chat, do you guys have any questions or things you guys want to mention before we wrap up?
Yeah. Let's have some chat questions.
Or questions for us? I don't know.
Yeah, dear Patch, what the fuck? I get that one a lot.
Or what we should cover next time when we watch the episode. I mean, this was a first run. It was the first time streaming.
Did we do okay, Chad? Did we do okay?
Was that fun to watch?
You are still here, so we really appreciate you. Thank you for that. Why is this not working? Oh, it's because, okay.
I can't do that one. I don't think. It's very uncomfortable.
This one? The cool part is you can switch between them. It's pretty cool.
It helps that I have hyperflex fingers, so like I can do funky shit with it.
This has been great. I've missed regular breakdowns and theory talk. Who knows?
Amazing.
No.
Have we started something? Are we just going to keep going?
I think we've started something. I would love for it to be a thing.
I mean, I love talking to you guys. I mean, we don't have to. I mean, today we were all excited, so it was longer than I expected it to run. But it was like, we have no idea what's going on. So next time we will at least know like characters and where it's going and vibes and more theories and maybe a new bingo. Who knows? So,
I think if anything, tonight was an experiment. I think it was an experiment that worked well. So.
Oh yeah.
Indeed.
Okay, for the middle part, how many of the character cosplays does Sarah want to do?
Yes.
We started Beth on this. How many you and I are gonna do as a
Okay, also, can we just, if this continues and stuff, can we also figure out a way how we all meet and have like a theory tavern? Like
a real roundtable discussion.
A roundtable, an actual roundtable, and film it. I know this is the first episode, and it might end after 4, but I like this.
Do we have to book a plane and come over to the castle?
I mean, you guys are invited. Come here. We just need to get our Canadian friend over here.
Tavern of Theories live. I'm down.
Soon, TM.
We'll make it happen.
All right. I think we're gonna wrap up. I'll see you two tomorrow, and I hope our DM Patch isn't killing us. I don't know what are we doing right now anyway. We're somewhere. Spoilers.
And hell,
we're in the
that's where we are.
universe.
You're not just somewhere. Where indeed did we last leave off?
I think it's just a vision. So
I know Renee knows where we left off.
are we in Avalier? In the past?
No, I'm pretty sure we are. Anyway, I can't wait for tomorrow. That's gonna be fucking fun.
Okay, so before we end, please say your goodbyes. Tell us who you are. Who wants to start?
Well, I went first last time, so you can go first this time.
All right. Hi, I'm Sasha. I was gonna say I've been Renee. I have not been Renee tonight. I have been myself, your resident lore keeper-ish, adjacent. And you can find me on social at The Weird Lobster. I'm The Weird Lobster on most platforms except TikTok. On TikTok, you can find me at The Rambling Lobster. And yeah, that's it. That's all I got. You can find me on Quest Junkies. I pointed left, but he's up for me. But on Quest Junkies channel on Wednesdays for Wildman Chronicle. And that's it. That's all I got.
Thank you. And Patch.
Hey, gang. It's me, Brennan Lee. No, that's not me.
You've been here the whole time. You're Sam.
You've never seen me and Brennan in the same room at the same time. That's all I'm going to say about that.
mean,
hi, everybody. I have been Patch, the ever humble Dungeon Master from Quest Junkies. Normally, I play everyone else, but tonight I've just been theorizing with my buds, and it's been a real fun time. We stream over at Quest Junkies 2 to 3 times a week, every Monday and every Wednesday, and then every alternate Sunday. We do lots of D&D. We have lots of non-live content as well. We have like Candela coming up, Vampire the Masquerade, Cyber Vamps even, a lot of fun stuff. And yeah, tomorrow night I'm going to be sending these guys into the depths of Avelia, which, fun fact, in our canon, as a sort of, I guess, a runner-up prize for losing in EXU Calamity, as Avelia, the flying city, fell, as it exploded. What actually happened was Asmodeus took it to the Nine Hells as a trophy.
Mine now.
So the party found their way there. Now. So Renee's very happy. So if you want to come and see some Avelia tomorrow night, then do find us over at Quest Junkies at the same time that we stream tonight. Will be in session, and they're not just in Avelia, they brought Kingsley Tea Leaf with them to Avelia, so that's a whole other aspect.
Also with cute familiars and robots and things and stuff, and we adopt literally anything like a good D&D party does.
Mm-hmm.
We have Charlie, who's a good boy. Barf, barf.
The bestest boy. Bark, bark.
Oh, and we have Artagan.
Artagan does show up at times, and there will be most likely some sort of Asmodeus cameo. Good old Asmo Daddy.
Yeah.
And that's me. I'm also over on Phoenix Awagi sometimes, playing some D&D. I'm currently part of the Castleton project run by Winter's Tales, which is that big 150 plus content creators, Hunger Games, D&D, Bridgerton hybrid of amazingness. I just like playing TTRPGs. I'll be at your table. Come and invite me to your thing. I'll play. I'll play a wizard probably. That's what I like to do. And that's me. I'm gonna shut up now.
You're a wizard, man. Harry.
Yes.
I'm
a what?
Anyway. Okay, here's a fun thing we could manifest. I mean, it happened before. Maybe we can talk to Oren. We could bring Oren on at the end. Maybe we can actually get Brennan on here. Talk to Brennan about Calamity. Wouldn't that be fun?
I have a lot to talk to that man about.
Oof, I know. Half an hour wouldn't do much, so we need to. Ooh, maybe we can bribe him with his snacks. Anyway. Thank you, you two. We'll see you hopefully next Tuesday. I hope you're back. Yeah, that's okay. And I'm doing the outro now. This is for our director. Bye, guys. Yeah, so it is me. They're talking about balls now, which is fair because we do that to Patch the whole time. So... I think I'm taking my earpieces out now. So this was the first episode on this channel, the Tavern of Theories on Tales of Exandria. We are normally on TikTok. We do also have an Instagram, which is not as big, sadly, but to be fair, we are not doing as much. But TikTok is going pretty well. We are nearly at 20K. So if you want to sub, that would be freaking amazing because we have a giveaway coming up and TikTok is very slow right now. So if you want to follow us on TikTok, do so. We do a lot of obviously lip syncing stuff over the Mighty Nine, stuff like that. But we also have adventures in Shrewsbury, the UK, where we had a Mighty Nine on tour. And there's a lot of things coming, hopefully, in the future. Anyway, we'll be back next Tuesday. What we have also planned for this channel is just hanging out with our friends, what we did today. Also with our cosplay friends, getting into cosplay together, which we call cos dates. So talking bullshit about D&D and Critical Role, which we hopefully will do with us too, which you don't see anymore, but I'm just pointing towards them. So yeah, that's pretty much it. You will find me over on Tales of Exandria on TikTok and whatever, Nerdish Cosplay and Duchess and Dragons, whatever. There's so much. But check out Quest Junkies tomorrow at 10, right? you two are not listening. Great. 10 European time, which is 9 o'clock UK time, which is then 4 o'clock East Coast time. And you can do the math for the other time zones. Okay, that's it. Do we have a slogan? What do we say? No, is it Thursday? It doesn't work. Is it Tuesday? No, that's kind of stupid. Do we have anything for Jet? Help me. Do we have anything we can say for the theory and balls? No, that's a Wednesday thing. It's like, may the theories be ever in your favor. Okay, bye guys.